following is a presentation of MRE Uno, Division 1. When you think about the fairy tale, you think about the perfect ending. But when you think about the fairy tale, you need a storybook start. Enter 4 regions. The night region, a wizard, sleeping on a cloud in a dream, and then the Cyclops with that rounded eye. 4 regions, Fairytale February. Could you ask for anything better? We're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the D1 Reveal Show. I brought you my closest friends on stage tonight. We'll get to them in a second. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the season opening 2026 Reveal Show. It's going to be a fantastic night. We got a lot planned for you. We're going to go over all 32 games, all 64 players, some new Reveal Show graphics, some new packages for the stream games, which we'll talk about with milestones, and we're going to get some player interviews as well. Let's get to that stage. Let's roll through it. Joining me is going to be my fellow commission members and some of our closest friends in the audience. We got Sandfer, we got Llamas, we got Short, we got Pro R, we got G, Yoshi, and Caesar will be here a little bit. Just got a word. He'll be here in about 15-20. Can't wait for the comp director to lay some bars down on some match previews. Well, it's been an incredible off-season. We've had one of the best off-seasons possibly of all time. It's not much to go off of, but one of the best all time. I do say so myself. And we're just going to get a brief opening word from the main man who made the bracket with me. Sandfer, what are we looking forward to tonight, buddy, before we get to that first region reveal? Go ahead. Floor is yours.
Well, I think for some, it's going to be a matter of just looking forward to, okay, I'm finally in a bracket. This is going to be the first one. Where do I start off the year? Some people, it's going to be, I'm needing to try and rebound off of a terrible year, or I made Super League and I need to justify that I made Super League last year. I think there's definitely those aspects of it, and it's going to be fun to see who maybe likes their matchup really well, who doesn't like their matchup, and maybe who's in between of like maybe indifferent about, okay, I wish I wouldn't have had him, but I'll get past it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of variables for those of you just joining us here in the chat. Appreciate you guys coming out. We got a whole host of people we'll talk to tonight. Feel free to type your responses if you don't want to chat. We're live on YouTube. Let's get to it. The night again, 4 regions. We talked about this. Should be a fun one. Fairytale February. So if you're keeping score at home, kind of how it works is we revealed the first people in the 1 seed line. So that's not a spoiler. Everything else is a spoiler. Let's begin with myself, KT, the boss. Here we go. So who will I be playing? Well, it's pretty simple. I'm going to put this in the chat. You're going to check it out on matchup release. As don't worry, short. I'm going to put up a matchup release. You guys are going to see it. The screen's going to go there, and we will be ready to roll. Here we go. And there's going to be a new format to talk about, so I'll be the guinea pig. So you're going to see right here, we did a little bit different. So I added age, which is new, completely new. Career Series wins, which includes the Super League wins. There's my trophy and medal case. It's a long list. And we added career wins just for March. And this is a stream game, which we'll talk about at the end. So basically, real simple. I won the reign. I'm the reign champ, right? We all know that. Blah, blah, blah. Looking for my 30th career win. We'll see how this goes. And then I'm playing Eric. So ironically, Eric played the last Super League champion from last year, Ashley, which is kind of funny. But there's the match preview. Legend versus Novice. Eric has never won a game in his career, but he didn't win a single game last year. And my best finish in the regular season with there's my trophy case. My thoughts on this game, I'm just going to keep it brief, and I'll give it to one other person in the audience. Listen, Eric is a guy that could surprise because he did have that 4-3 last year, but we'll see where his head's at. As far as myself, really the only thing I could say is it was a hell of an off season. Great times, great people. Looking forward to get back in the game as usual. I'll pick one from the people here. Let's see. We'll go to my main man, Llamas. We'll go to Llamas. Your thoughts on this game?
My thoughts are that, you're semi-retired now. You don't have to schedule anymore. So why shouldn't you win this game, right?
Okay, I will go to some more inspirational thoughts. We'll go to Pro. That was good. That was good though. Pro, go for him.
Okay, really, here's the thing. Monaco can play an interesting style, but it's kind of interesting to think, how is he going to factor into this year? He hasn't practiced much. I know KT's coming in with a lot of momentum after winning Super League. He has a lot of experience with T1 being one of his strong suits. I don't know how it's going to be, how Monaco's going to step up to the challenge. I think, though, he might try to at least get this a bit farther than what the CPU's thinking. I could almost see it almost getting the 6 if Monaco kind of catches KT kind of testing out during this first matchup.
We'll see. We'll go to someone reading the chat. We'll go to Sandfer, read the chat, thoughts on anything, and then we'll go to the next match. We'll keep it appreciate. Sandfer,
I'm going to say
chat
this much. There's no way that this gets to 6 unless KT literally takes a game. Nick is feeling very bold. He's going to say that Eric Monaco gets that first series win. Good luck with that one. Acosta should be no contest. Joao says Monaco about to get the biggest upset win, predicting a sweep. What? Okay. And Leah mentioning that Monaco is the king of doing just barely enough to stay in D1, which is very much true.
Sam, for you spewing some hearsay here? What's going on?
I'm just saying what's in the chat. I mean, Nick said Eric Monaco fire, so I how else am I supposed to?
Just a statement, Sam.
I'm sorry.
That's
you put
okay.
a name in there after the fact. I'm just going to assume that that's who you're predicting. Unless you put a score with it saying 1-4.
Oh boy. All right. Well,
because 4 is very nice to Pierre. You know that.
Well, that's basically how it goes, though. Kind of the guinea pig. That was how the guinea pig. That's kind of how the show works. But yeah, we had some fun things. Also tonight, I guess one other thing to keep in mind kind of helps us too. I put the age thing for a reason. So if we got your age wrong, call me out and I'll update it. That's another thing I wanted to do tonight. So that's the beauty of it. Anyway, I don't got much to say on my game. Usually we just kind of move forward. So we'll move forward to our next game. All right, our next game, course, if you also know, this will be another great point on YouTube. We'll always denote a stream versus a non-stream, but we'll go to our next game. We'll start off with the 8th seed, StingRay, Mr. Nevada. And he has 8 career wins. Sting had I'd say a more middle-of-the-road season, stay on brand. But he also had some interesting opponents. He lost some close ones, especially at Non-Master, which was the one I vividly remember. But who is he going to play? And this is going to be interesting because the guy he's playing had a more lackluster season and maybe needs a little bit of a boost. We're going to find out if he needs that boost pronto because he's going to be playing none other than Mr. William Brock the Rock. Rock the Brock, Brock the Rock, however you say it, from Georgia. Of course, Brock, we know what he can do. He's a 13-time winner in this league. He's been to Super League before. Non-stream game, by the way. We're probably going to bring him up and let him talk about it. But he had a down year, not what he was looking for, maybe. I should have said 2025 to me. I'll fix that right there. But he does have a chance here with a StingRay, who kind of had the same season, about 4-3 wins. They both were even. They ironically both finished 12th at some point last year, so something's got to give right there. CPU's going with, again, 8-9 upset. We talk about this league. The 9 seeds seem to have an edge for some odd reason. We'll talk about Sandfer in that in a second. But we're going to bring up, before we get to anybody, let's bring William Brock. Usually he comes up. So we'll bring up Brock to the chat and we'll talk about him. He's shorter. Oh, we got Brad here tonight? Bring up Brad. All right, what's up, Brock? How you doing, brother? Obviously, your thoughts on playing Sting. What are you looking forward to the new season, my man?
Hopefully make it to
Brock, we aren't hearing you well there.
once again.
There you go.
But
What was it? Good stack.
yeah, I was hoping to bounce back from a terrible year last year and hopefully make it to Super League again. Maybe try to change up strategies a little bit and see where I go from there.
Got you. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, man. It's going to be an interesting year trying to get that bounce back. Obviously, a former medalist back in T5.
Oh.
Got an echo there?
Little echo.
That was a bad echo. I don't know who it was from.
I think it was from him, possibly.
Brock, your thoughts on playing Sting, though, overall? Good, Brad.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Brock might have audio issues. All good. We'll go to Sandfer because I want to talk about the 8-9 line statistically, man. This has always been a weird line. Thoughts on this one, man? Because usually 9 seeds cook in this league.
Yeah, and usually I do, and which kind of helps lead into what I had for the thoughts on this. So, obviously, with both these players, they come in off 2025 that was less than ideal. Neither was able to get to the 5 win. And realistically, neither one of them this wouldn't have been a matchup that we would have seen if it wasn't for the amount of players that had departed the league, which got him a little bit higher seeding. I do like that also Brock comes into this with an advantage of he's not totally cold because he did play the Promoters Cup, got some games in. And since he does have that 9-8 advantage, I'm going to give Brock the edge 4-2 in this one. For whatever reason, even though we try to have this be a line that we think would be like 2-2 split, 9 line always seems to either go like 4-0, 3-1, and especially in T1, I think I'd have to look back, but I don't think an 8 seed won last year's T1, and definitely an 8 seed did not win in 24 on T1. So Brock definitely with the advantage.
Brock did play the Promoters Cup, of course, with many others, with many of our D2 folks that got promoted and some interesting names in D1, which we'll talk about when we get to that as well. We'll keep it rolling, though. Of course, Brock, right now, fair. Brock, appreciate you coming up, my friend. Thank you for taking time out of your night, man. Sorry about the audio issue. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I appreciate being up here.
All right, Brock, we'll see you around, man. Feel free back on the stage. Feel free to watch the show. Thank you, WB. Ladies and gentlemen, William Brock, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how he does against Sting with a little Nevada versus Georgia action. All right, we'll go to our next game, and our next game, we're going to bring it to none other than the main man in the stage. We'll start it off with our 4 seed, Cody Llamas, Mr. Llama himself. Obviously, Llamas had a season that probably stood out in 2 reasons. One, he always beat the best people and nearly made it with 3 quad 1 wins. He's coming off one of the more interesting seasons, but he's going to be playing a guy in Allen, who has been probably one of the most interesting theories we've seen in this league because he had that one great tournament and hasn't been seen since. CPU's thinking Llamas going 4-3. Let's get man himself and his thoughts on this game. Llama, thoughts on playing Allen? We got.
Oh,
Cody?
jeez. I'm here. Hello. Hi. I don't know. I just ready to play some Uno. Looking forward to every game is different. Every player is different. And I just hope to not start off 0-3, I believe, like I did last year.
Yeah, I think it was 0-2. I think it was 0-2. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. This is interesting style. We'll go over to let's actually go to someone new. Let's go to Brad tonight. We'll go to Brad. Brad, your thoughts on this game, man? You've seen both of these guys play. What are you thinking here? If you can speak, man. If not, we'll go to someone else.
Yeah, I can't speak. Sorry.
Pro Art, we'll go back to Pro Art. Pro, thoughts on this one? We got the split ammo of Allen and Llamas, who we know is very, very calculated for sure.
Basically, it's the best of 2 worlds, really. Only thing I got concerned about with Allen is sometimes his headspace isn't always the best. And last year, we know how that went. It wasn't one of the great seasons for Allen. If he's able to counter anything that happened last year and improve on it this year, this could be a great challenge to start off with, facing off against a good competitor like Llamas. And Llama's coming off of being one of those people on the outside looking into Super League. He's gonna try to bounce back as well and try to make it into Super League this year. This is gonna be one of those interesting type of battles.
Battle of third place medals in their career. And for that, we'll go to Charles Sandfer, and he'll look at the chat. I can't see it. Sandfer, what is the chat saying?
Let's see. Going back to the last match, Joao's agreeing with me, seeing a 4-2 for Brock. Leah says poor sweet Allen, so she thinks Allen's getting killed. Nick says Llamas 4-2. Joao is continuing with the upsets and thinks a 4-0.
Allen 4-0 sweep? Oh my.
Which I don't think Allen has swept a person in his life.
I'm pretty sure he's been swept by people. I don't think he's swept anybody.
Okay, if there is
I'm gonna have to.
That's a little bit better. That Mack saying 4-3 Allen. That's a little bit more reasonable.
Appreciate stat coming in. Yeah, I think. I know he's not here tonight. Puzzled Dan, he was saying Allen will be winning the whole tournament. I think the problem is, who said, was it Pro Art? And we don't know where his headspace is at. Great guy. I've known this guy for years, but ever since he's lost that job, it's been downhill. So
I think this one's going to be personally Llamas 4-2. Truthfully,
you think Llamas? Yeah, we'll see. It should be an interesting game for sure. Let's not say that. He didn't really.
I mean, I agree, Nick. Joel's going to go bankrupt trying to bet all these upsets.
They got to pay you to take his stock, man.
Fitzwater. Listen, we talked about Fitzwater. That's what Fitz would do. No, I think Fitzwater being Llamas 4-0, and he always would pick 4-0 Llamas. Anyway, we'll go to the next game. This is now another toss-up game. We talked about the 4-13s, the 5-12 line, another non-stream game. So a lot of non-streams. We're going to explain why there's a lot of non-streams, mainly because we get to those milestones, which we'll talk about a little later on the bottom half.
They just didn't end up in this region.
Yeah, that's true, too. But there are some milestones. We're going to start it off with a guy that I think is a surprise. He could be one of the huge Dragon Slayers. We're talking about insane Lane Train Sanders. Lane Train, what a year out last year. Sure, he didn't make Super League, but Lane is fired up this year. Fought them behind closed doors. He's out for blood. He felt he had a missed opportunity. Wouldn't want to be pissing this guy off, 16 career time winner. And then he's going to be playing someone that had a solid, I'd say a solid Promoters Cup in Goldie. Now, Goldie, of course, didn't win any games, but at least got some curtains under the rug. They're playing old Ellison and Cody. Smart. But, I think or not Cody Smart, sorry, Mihail and Cody Smart, excuse me. Ellison was in that group, which we'll talk about him later. Interesting game, as I think this is going to come down to two things. Really, is Lane's closure going to be good? I think it is. It's not the same Lane train. And for that, I want to bring in Not Short because he does have history with seeing the first iteration of Lane. Thoughts on this one, buddy? Because we all know Lane when he was insane. He ain't insane anymore. This is a different Lane we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, ever since 2024 at T3, where sorry to appear, he reverse swept him. That ever since that, like really, and then the next tournament, like he's, you sense like he matured. He grew as not only a player but as a character in general, like as a person, and I think we've just seen that he's been he's been more professional. He's been more calm and composed. He can still fly off the handle sometimes, but I mean, who doesn't from time to time? It was a turning point. I'm sorry, you were a turning point. Anyway, the point is that he's like he made Super League after that, and he's had a lot more success since that turning point in his career, and I can't see why he won't have another season to that effect. Having a 6th place finish in this tournament a season ago, 8 wins. Now, I'll say that you don't want to sleep on Goldie. Obviously, you don't want to sleep on anybody in this division. There really isn't anyone that you can put right off. But I think overall as a season, it should be another good one for Lane if he keeps up what he's been keeping on since that turning point of his career.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game. I think the fact that Lane is a guy that has matured and he's not somebody to go back to his old roots, and the fact that he's had, back-to-back 8-win seasons compared to, let's say, when he first started and he was getting swept by DJ, and then he swept DJ at one point. That was the old joke. He's also had some weird games, too, where the bot would just explode on him. It was weird back in the day, so we'll see how it goes. Should be a fun one. I think Lane Goldie could give us a classic battle. Of course, anytime you have a 4-13, 5-12, anything can happen. We always see that in the regular. As I just saw someone say death to the old bot. I'm going to guess that's Stack. Is that right, Sandfer?
Sorry, what?
Yeah, Stack Johnson, death to the old bot. Stack loves the new bot, man. Stacky Johnson. All right, so if you're keeping score at home, that's the top half. We're going to go to the bottom half right now, and Short's going to move over. He's going to show you the bracket right here. Just give him a second. Flip it over. And we're going to start off with the 215, and of course, if you're keeping score at home, the 215 would go first because then the 611. I know a lot of people talked about why you just don't go 611, but there's a method to the old madness, so just keep that in mind for the stream games and the games coming up as well, because there are some stream games at the bottom. All right, we'll start it off with the guy that won this tournament kind of last year. He did win T1, but remember, March is retired, and unless someone picks March again T2, Nick will be the last ever winner in March Madness for now, so that's something to keep in mind. We won't have that anymore. But for Nick, obviously made Super League. Great run for him last year. Really, the polar bear was the old thing. We'll probably bring up him and talk about this with Pro. Great run, 12 career time winner. Of course, he's got his one and only trophy in last year's March Madness. Again, new major this year. Keep that in mind. Don't know if we're going to continue with Fairytale February. It could be a one-time deal. If we like it, we'll keep it. It's more of an experimental thing. Nick, I'm right in saying you're 21, right? If I butchered that, my fault. Just correct me. I think you're 21. I got that down. And he's going to play a guy that nobody knows, really. He's more the wild card in this entire tournament, in my opinion. We didn't see him in the Promoters Cup. He's coming in all fresh. The reason why we didn't see him in J Money is J Money, quote, "I don't need practice. I'm just J Money." So that's Jay. We know he's got a big personality, big heart, though. He's a good guy. And for that, I'm going to bring up Nick, and we're also going to bring up G because G knows about J Money. And I wish Clay was here. I'd definitely go. But G, your thought before we get to Nick. Your thoughts on this game, man. This could be an interesting one. Jay is he ain't no slouch, but your thoughts on him playing Nick to start it off.
J Money is definitely an interesting character to the league here. Again, he does have a tournament win under his belt with Archery April in the 2025 D2 season last year. So he's been able to show he's got what it takes. So we have technically 2 tournament winners going at it in this one. But for J Money, he's definitely someone who plays a little bit unpredictable. You're not really sure what you're going to get on the next turn. Sometimes you just kind of get a basic play, and then sometimes you're just kind of sitting around and suddenly boom, 8-card run, it's over. So he has a bit of a unpredictability factor to him that I think will help him in terms of kind of adding some tension for the opponent in the matchup. But yeah, I mean, overall, looking back at his season from 2025, D2 Championship did not go too well for him, unfortunately. But in terms of the regular season, got 8 victories, and only 2 losses because he had to the DQ forfeit in T1 last season, but then won tournament 2 and then played in tournament 3 and tournament 4, so only picked up 2 losses during the season. And he made two Elite Eights, including that tournament 2 victory. So it could be boom or bust with J Money. But if he makes it out of this round, I would not be surprised to be someone you could see in the final 8 of this tournament.
All right, before we begin, I want to welcome our main man, Jay Caesar, in the building. Jay Caesar, hope that dinner was special, man. Glad to see you up here, my friend. And we're just getting into a little bit of the first region. All right, we'll bring Nick up. Pro, you want to do that? You want to do the honors on that one? I'll ask some questions here before I go. See if we get that going. Hopefully the audio. Or Nick, yeah, okay. All right, you got it. Got you up here.
What's good?
You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Or is he coming clear on the audio?
Sound far away.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, it's quiet.
No problem, Stack. Enjoy, buddy. Is that better now?
I mean, I can hear you fine.
You just sound far from your mic, man.
Well, I'm right, and I'm as close as I can possibly be.
Okay, hang on. Let me bump you up. Talk for me.
Yeah, bump him up.
I'm sorry.
All right, well, we bump Nick's audio up.
Boom. Yeah.
You got
it? Hello? Hello?
Check. I don't know.
Check,
I'll do my best.
Okay.
I think the Brock issue was just Brock had the TV and was distracted. I think this one's just something's going on there. Anyway, Nick, your thoughts on this is another. I apologize. This is not a milestone game. The rule is, of course, if you win a tournament, the defending tournament champion gets streamed, unless you're Vapor, who retired. And of course, I won Super League. That's the only guy that will be streamed in Super League this year. Everything else is all fair game. But your thoughts on playing J Money, Nick? Obviously, he's more of a wild card considering he doesn't have any experience, even in the Cup. We didn't see him. He's coming in cold. Does that give you a little bit of a potential different game plan as you're playing someone cold? Thoughts on that?
I don't think it necessarily changes up the game plan any. I've been following D2 for a while. I know all of the rookies are dangerous no matter which one you get, so getting one in the first round isn't going to be anything to take lightly. It'll be an interesting matchup for sure. He's won a tournament in D2. I've won a tournament in D1. I'm just looking forward to getting back onto the table and defending my T1 crown.
All right, appreciate that, buddy. And your thoughts on just anything you've seen so far? Anything you're noticing in the region?
I mean, it's just KT at the top, and then I don't have the thing right in front of me of the top half of the region. I guess there's still 6 more slots to be filled out for the rest of the bracket, but just hoping I can at least make it to that regional finals and potentially meet you on the other side, or maybe Llamas. That'd be an interesting matchup. Beyond that, just gonna take it one matchup at a time. You can't look too far ahead in the bracket. You got to face every single opponent. Just one person at a time. Can't get too carried away. So yeah, just looking forward to facing J Money.
All right, man. Appreciate that. It's Nick, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, 2025 March Madness champion. Potentially the last March Madness champion ever. We'll see if someone picks that in T2. But regardless, it's the last major March champion. All right, we'll move over. Appreciate Nick for making this time, and we'll go over to the next match. And well, ironically, we got friends in the building. We'll start it off as we'll just wait for Short to move over. There we go, in the old 7-10. Another game that can go back. We talk about the 7-10 line. Really, anywhere in this league, anywhere from the 4 through the 13s, the 5, 12, 6, 11, 7, that's all toss-up city. And, well, this is going to be interesting, man. We're going to start it off with the guy in the building, Yoshi. Let's all give him a hand. The old prophet, as you see on Discord. And for Yoshi, he's had a interesting career. 17 career wins. His career reminds me a lot of similar to Llamas, ironically. But the only difference for Yoshi, he's never made Super League. He's got 19, or excuse me, he's 19. Of course, he's playing the old famous number. Of course, the GOAT, MJ, 23, the classic. I'm going to be honest with you, this is probably one of the most upset, if we had to go with the betting odds, this is an upset city game because playing Pikachu to defend D2, I understand people are going to say, well, okay, what about last year? That was Steven. And with all due respect to Steven, it wasn't the season that maybe a lot of people would project with Steven. Let's just go with that. He's a good. Listen, I'm not going to say anything bad about Steve, but there was a lot of things I think last year that just wasn't up to snuff. But this is a really good game. Obviously, no brainer here. Stream game for 2 reasons: one, defend D2 champion, and the big one, will Yoshi? She should be able to crack his case for his 100 career regular season wins. There's the match preview. Keep CPU going with the upset. Like I said, one of the more popular ones. Let's get to it right here. Let's go to the horse's mouth. Let's get Yoshi on the stage. He's already here. Buddy, I mean, this is a huge game here. This could be a statement game to start off your campaign. What's your thoughts on playing Yoshi? This is going to be a big one.
What's Yoshi's thoughts on playing Yoshi?
On Pikachu.
Yeah.
Did I say
No,
Was I
yeah,
the only
you might
I wasn't the only one that heard Yoshi.
Yeah,
playing
yes,
Yoshi,
he did,
right?
but let's move on.
I think he did misspoke, yeah.
Yes, he did.
but-
Let's move
I'm
on.
an idiot. My fault there.
So I played
grab-
Pikachu before, actually. It's not super. It wasn't like, oh, I play him a lot. I played him a couple times, and some of it is just luck. It just comes down to the luck, but I feel like I have a decent idea of what to do against him. That I don't think this is going to be like at least a wash, unless the bot just does not go my way. But realistically, I see this being a close match where it's just going to come down to making the right decisions at the right times when it matters, which I've been known to struggle with before. But you know, every match is different, right? So at some point, I'm going to make that right decision that'll set me up for the win, and I feel like this could be my chance. Obviously, this win is only going to put me in the round of 32, and that's very far from my ultimate goal this season. But I guess it does help with like a statement sense, because Pikachu's coming off of a D2 champ win. But yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not scared at all. I feel like I've seen his gameplay enough that I feel prepared. It's just gonna come down to how the cards fall on the table. I feel like we're both pretty evenly matched when the cards even out. So yeah, there's a lot to think about with this one. I don't know. I feel like this is probably one of the first times. I feel like usually when I'm on stream, it's like round 2, not round 1. This is probably one of my first round 1 streams, so I'm excited for that.
100 career wins?
Yeah, I mean,
that's probably wrong.
True.
That's
Yeah,
one.
as long as I get one, as long as I don't get swept, I will get that. It would have been nice to get that 100th win, which would have meant I would be captain, but you know, we're just going to delay it until the beginning of the season. So, Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. As long as I get one game win, it's not going to be a total failure. Ideally, I want to win the whole match, but you know, we'll see what I can control in this one. Because you can't control everything, but you got to control what I can to get it done.
All right, and we'll go over to G, his thoughts on Pikachu, and then we'll bring it back around to one more additional thought. I want to go to Sandfer on why he's seated up here too. Go ahead, G.
Yeah, I mean, for Pikachu, we already have a good amount of players, or a decent amount of players who have the style of going fast. Pikachu will be another player that gets added to that group as he is someone who likes to play very quick. So if he and Ghost or Myth ever play on the line, that's a matchup to watch out for because it's probably not going to last more than 15 minutes. But yeah, I mean for Pikachu, had a pretty solid regular season. Made has been in the D2 championship twice. Made it in 2024. Did not pan out that well, but made it back in 2025 with a 8-4 record in the regular season, and then in the D2 championship just kind of stormed the field, or like blitzed the field pretty much. 5-0, 22-9 game record, and did that with beating the top seed MyHale twice. So a very impressive playoff showing for Pikachu. But he's going to be bringing a unique style, not unique. He's going to be bringing a pretty quick pace style that we have seen before, but definitely adds some flair to it as well. I think for Yoshi, the one advantage he does have in this matchup is, unlike some other people who may be a little bit get so surprised by some of these rookies, Yoshi has seen all these rookies before in action, has even commentated a lot of their matches, so he knows what he's expecting going into this match, so he'll have a notebook ready and be looking to get the win here, and hopefully get a good start to the season. But this is going to be a good match. I'm glad this one's on stream. Hopefully will be a good showing for both.
We'll go over to Sandfer. Sandfer, obviously, we had to make a decision. Really, this was easy. A lot of the reasons why we had to move people up was two big retirements, right? Gon and Vapor. But also there was Ashley as well. We also had, I think Bowtie was in this hunt, I believe, on this line. Carden as well, we lost. So talk to me why we have a rookie at 10. Because last year we had the rookie, the D2 champion at 11. This, I believe, is the highest rated rookie for the year.
Yes, this one is. So,
Go ahead, man.
Slight spoiler. This was a matchup that kind of got set in stone fairly early on. There's a lot of intrigue for multiple reasons. One, obviously, you have Yoshi, Pikachu, you have the names. They're both Nintendo-related character names. And Yoshi does have that connection to D2, which made this being as kind of like an intriguing matchup. The only part that was in doubt was going to be whether or not this was a 6-11 or a 7-10, because Yoshi, in our eyes, kind of would fit with either line. And it's just he's kind of getting moved up to a 6 because of the players that were moved. And one of the people that was going to be on the 7 played really well in the Promoter Cup that wasn't supposed to be in there, so it made that swap be pretty simple. So because of that player being able to be moved up reasonably, and Pikachu played really well in the games that we saw for him for the Promoters Cup, that's why this one kind of got put on the 7-10. This 10 line was about as high as we were willing to go for any of the D2 guys. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. That's kind of where we fell on it, I think.
Pretty much.
I'm going to say that Pikachu gets the win on this one, though, as well.
Yeah, it's a popular upset. I mean, let's face it. When you have we know there was Steve last year, but that was a little bit different. Steve's first game was against Vapor, which we at that time, that wasn't prime time. Throw a dime. I'm not going to go anywhere. But anyway, prime time, throw a dime, Vapor. But the point is, I think Yoshi will be more motivated with this one because he, at least, as G said, has a little bit of data background to go off of instead of just a blind eye. So something to keep in mind for sure as we keep moving along. Anyway, that'll be one of the longer pieces of reveal we go to. We'll go to the next match. And this next match is intriguing because there's two things here. We got reason why. First off, reason why this one's streamed coming up is because our friend, by the way, the best card in the deck, say what you want, Laraujo, you can't not get that card. Guns out all day. Lara, of course, coming off a great Super League campaign, 14-time winner in the league. He's from Canada up north, 23 years old. And he's had a good career, man. You know, even though he didn't really do much in 24, I think the fact that he made that step up, he could be someone to watch. And coming off one of the more unfortunate Promoters Cup experiences was James Ellison. James was beat up and battered. He had a lot going on, I think, and it's going to be an interesting battle. CPU's going with Ellison, unfortunately losing this one, but it is interesting it's a 4-2, not a 4-1 or something, especially with 76%. Maybe that Promoters Cup comes in hand. We're going to go 2 people on this. We're going to go to Pro R, and then we're going to go to Sandfer on this one. Pro, your thoughts on this match, because Lara really was the man in terms of finding that apple card, being in the top 10 Super rankings before we got to the end. James has been all over the map.
You're definitely right. And here's the thing. When we saw Lara last year in Super League, Lara was one of those tough players to beat during the stages. Well, in the group stage. But then once he got towards that knockout, it kind of went a little bit off. Yeah. Lara's going to try to bounce back from that and try to get going here. But then you got Ellison, who's had his kind of few high moments, but not that many. If he could try to bounce back here, it could create something a little bit special here for Ellison, but only time will tell.
Yeah, there's a combo card with that. It's a little weird. Forgot to mention that. We'll talk about that in a second. We're going to go to Sandfer here because he knows Ellison well. I think this is going to be an interesting point. We'll probably try. We're going to fix that. We have a plan to fix that for T2. But your thoughts on this game, Sam? Because it's interesting. You got to look at this and say, what James? It's almost similar to Allen. Where is his headspace going to be at to really make a difference? Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, it is totally fair, man. Ellison is definitely the player that took the biggest hit from the Promoters Cup in terms of expectations. Basically, he lost the first game, and I had asked him a question about a playing habit and some of the tools, and the answer that he gave me was so concerning that I'm not sure where he's going to end up in the course of this year. Plus, he's a player that definitely gets downtrot on the losses. And so in this game, he ends up getting one of the Super League players in a stream game. And I don't see it boding well for him. And so unless he's learned something about the tools to use and properly using them, I'm going to say Lara gets the job done here. And I'm going to say it's a sweep. And I'm just going to hope that it doesn't take Ellison's confidence level.
Did I do it? Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry, man. Does that double preview? Yeah, it's on me. I was looking for the stream graphic. Next time I think, Llamas, I got an idea, man. I think what I'll do next time, or maybe this next region, you post the thumbnail. If you ain't eating dinner, I'm gonna post the thumbnail in a second. Give me a second. Let me just copy all this. Might be a good idea. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting game. It's gonna come down to headspace. Let's face it. It's gonna come down to headspace. Sometimes with headspace, it can go either way. So something to keep in mind. So you want me to repost the 3-4? You want me to repost this short? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Let me find it. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah. Just repost it with the thumbnail because you had the wrong graphic there. You had the right preview. Well, you had the preview, and then you also posted the Yoshi Pikachu preview with it.
Yeah, that's on me, 100%. Trying to
Happens.
still figure out. It's a little rusty too. So we're gonna get the James L. What was that?
I said it happens.
It happens.
It's gonna happen. Believe me. This is why I need an EP every time. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the EP king. I need an EP. Give me one every time.
You have one.
I know. Don't put me near sheets. Don't put me near. Sometimes don't put me near technology. I'll break it. That's the. Now we talking about speaking for 20 hours. Yeah, I'm your man. But when it comes to certain things, as pro, I can yap his ear off all day, but I can't do a basic thing.
But we don't need that here tonight.
No, we're moving really good. This is the fact that this is the last match and we're not even
the region.
Now we're in is pretty good. Not even, yeah. So
of the region.
That's pretty good. In the past, we'd be here for 5 hours in just one region, so we're doing good here. I like this new style. All right, this should be good. So we'll move over to the last match, which is non-stream. It's our last stream game. Everything else is non-stream, and we're going to start it off with a guy that. Where's he been since that 5 finale, all the way back in the survival tournament, T5 2023? It's been a long time for Clay since he's been back on any sort of podium or stage. Similar to Yoshi again, pretty much that Yoshi path. 17 career wins. He's got that P2 like Yoshi. And he's the classic Trips 8 on the number. Something to keep in mind, too, would be, well, I guess it wouldn't happen. This actually was a golden opportunity. If Clay and J Money do meet, they pretty much live next to each other, so that'd be something to keep in mind. But who Clay playing? And it's an interesting match because Hockey did play the Cup, but it was a little bit of a weird one because he played for the D1 team, which again, that one mainly because the 3 people that didn't play, J Money included in this region. We'll talk about the other 2 in a little bit. Had school or just stuff going on. But for Hockey, an interesting season last year. Only 3 wins. I'd say he was more of a guy that had flashes of promise, but then he would fizzle out. Should be a fun battle between these 2. CPU's going for that Clay 4-3. All I'm going to say with this one, first off, love the +2 battle. That's really cool. Love that +2 battle. All I'm going to say for this one, this could be interesting. I think it's going to come down to pace. These guys like to play quick. Go 2 people on this one. We're going to start it off with Pro Art, and then we'll go to short. We're going to try something here. We'll go to Pro Art. Pro Art, your thoughts on Clay and Hot? Clay hasn't really been around the block in a hot minute in terms of podium, but he's always a contender. And your thought on Hockey, who plays that speed demon style?
Well, starting off with Clay here, he has had those moments in the past where he could just be a player that can go very good here, and he's very confident on what he's doing. And then there's sometimes that he might make those minor mistakes, and it can throw him off sometimes. But then you got Hockey, quick pace, quick moving on the cards, but sometimes when you go too quick, it might come back and make you do something that you shouldn't be doing, and it could mess you up. This matchup could test out both of them on what they're gonna do here for the whole season coming up.
Sure, I gave you this one specifically because you played Hockey in your first ever match. You want to elaborate on your thoughts on this one?
Oh goodness, that was special.
Memory, baby.
Yeah, that was something else. But yeah, I mean he hasn't changed the style a whole lot. He's going for that classic, play it 7, play it fast. And the reason I lost is I played right into his hands. Now the question is, we kind of talk about where Clay's head is at. Where if he can't make those mistakes, because if you let one drop, that could Hockey could speed right past you. So, but he can also take it. What Clay has to do in this game to come out ahead is to be able to he has to be able to be methodical. He has to take it easy. He has to make sure he's planning everything, making sure that he doesn't run too fast at a wall, because Hockey could easily take advantage of that with how he plays. So he's just got to play it patient, control the pace, and he'll get the job done.
All right. And for those of you at home, Short is keeping track of these. We want to shout out Llamas. We are going to have a little replay in a sense. So if you go to YouTube, you'll see the timestamp. You can go to your game, and you'll be able to watch the feedback of each game. But we'll go to the full now. We'll go to the full scale overview. So here we go.
It's
not
working.
What?
It's not working.
Oh, you can't do it? Which one? The thumbnail?
No, I'm trying. I'm working on it.
Oh, you can't. Okay, you can still do the timestamp though. That will. Still
I can
happen.
do
Don't
the
worry.
timestamp, but I'm just trying to get the full bracket up. It's being a pain in my ass.
The full Region 1 bracket is not wanting to display.
Yeah, it's
All right,
just OBS is. Hang on, I got it. Just stand by for me a minute.
While he's doing that, we got Hockey Love in the chat. Basically, Nick saying doesn't know where his head's at though. Who,
hockey or Clay?
I think he's saying doesn't know where. I think that's going for hockey, but he'll still say hockey gets the win. I'm gonna agree with the computer. Truthfully, I'll say a Clay 4-3. I've learned to not disagree with the computer very much, even on the score.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game. It's gonna depend on a lot of these games in region. Where are people's heads at? That's gonna be, I think, really what. Well, I know where Clay's at. He's a good.
There it is.
Oh, by the way, G's not doing the brackets anymore. I did the brackets, but he's still gonna do the images. We took over that duty. So a little bit different. We'll have this public, by the way, but a little bit of that blue and gray going on. We got KT Monaco up top. We got Sting Brox. We got New Jersey, New York. There's that battle. Nevada versus Georgia. We got little Delaware versus Florida, and then Alabama versus New York. So all the states up there. Then we go to the bottom half, more of the foreign flair. A little bit, not too much. It's mainly a U.S. region and Canada. So U.S.-Canada region here. We got Clay hockey. Of course, Canada versus New Jersey. Canada again versus Indiana, Ellison and Leah. And then should be a good battle. How many players do we have in California? Too many to count as Andy hits us up. Pikachu versus Yoshi. And then we got a little Hot versus Jersey to end it there. We'll have Sandfer. Sandfer, your thoughts in this region, man? A lot of interesting names. A lot of people, I think, looking to prove themselves. You got the bookend guys that have won tournaments. You got 1 and 2 seeds. You got also, defending D2 champ. We got some surprises and some people looking to make a statement. What do you think on this region one? Go ahead, buddy.
I think the interesting part for this region is considering that for this region, the 1, 2, and the 3 seeds were based off of Super League results. The fact that this region in particular could end up having an Elite 8 matchup that is the 2 most recent T1 winners is an intriguing statement in itself. Although, granted, we've seen that the T1 winners maybe we haven't had a repeat T1 winner yet. So does that mean that neither one of them makes it to the Elite 8? Possibly. And at that point, it's going to be intriguing to see who would be the one to make it out if neither one of you or Nick get out of this region.
Yeah, appreciate that, Sandfer. It's got a DM from someone, all good. Yeah, it'll be an interesting region. I think top to bottom, we got some interesting prospects. Joao said rookies. We'll see how the rookies do. And it is a heavy New Jersey region. And ironically, let's see here. Yeah, I think I've met all these people in real life in the Jersey side. Let's see, me, that's interesting. So I met. You never know. Goldie's in New York. So it's 4 out of 16. Goldie moved to New York, buddy. Yeah, I met all these people from. Ironically, if that's another thing too. We would have a in real life game, but I'm on vacation, so that ain't gonna happen if we get that far. So unfortunately, I ain't out. But one day we will get that. I talked to Clay on that. One day we'll get that. All right, let's move over to the Wizard region, and Short's gonna do his fancy schmancy transition right here. Moving pretty well here so far. And there we go. Appreciate the thumbnails, by the way. Llamas makes the thumbs. Obviously, the legend, Zach 103, as we call him, makes the old cards, and Short's got the intro for you just joining late. Appreciate everybody. As we go to Region 2, I think he was here, but he just ate dinner, so I just asked him for his thoughts. We'll see if we can give him a live call in a second here. See if I'm back. But we got to start it off with Stat Johnson, baby. I did change his name to Stat Johnson on certain things, but Stat Johnson, man, it's interesting. What a career he's had. Probably one of the most polarizing careers you'll ever meet in terms of just results. Because ironically, he has 11 career wins, but I still think he has a losing career record overall, which is something to keep a note of. 2-time medalist now. You got the first and second Super League runner-up, and of course, your Movie May tournament winner back in Movie May, right around Memorial Weekend. But he's playing somebody that I have not seen since, hello, my friend, Dark Rain, since T3 last year. And Dark is, 6 career wins. He had that really good 2023 T5 where he got most of those wins, but hasn't done much since. He stayed in D1 mainly because of no rail. Rel tournament. I believe this is the oldest match in the league, believe it or not, in terms of experience. 31-33. It's an average age of 32. So this is going to be a hell of an experience bowl. We're going to go 2 people on this one. We're going to start it off with, of course, Sandfer, and then we'll go over to Yoshi. I think we'll go to this one. Your thoughts on Sandfer? Your thoughts on Stack? We know there is a Super League hangover occurs. Do you think Stack can break that? This is an interesting match.
So I don't know if he breaks that. I do. This is an intriguing matchup to me. Mack comes in as the runner-up last year, so gets locked into this 2 seed or into the 2 overall seed. And Dark's weird year with missed tournaments, poor results, basically locked him into the 16 line. He gets the spot over Monaco just because didn't really want a KT Dark repeat from 2023. For those that know, they know. Dark does have the ability to drag out games, which I think might not bode the best for Mack. But for this one, I will choose to believe that Stack is able to pull it off and get a narrow 4-3.
We'll go to Yoshi. Yoshi, your thoughts on Stack Johnson versus new Stack versus Dark? We haven't seen a hot minute.
So this is an interesting matchup. What? Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
Okay. So ironically, these are 2 players I don't know a lot of, at least in comparison to other players. I mean, we've seen Mack more recently, had a good run in the Super League, but and obviously that tournament win. So, but definitely more of a polarizing. Well, no, definitely more of a hit or miss player where they can either go crazy or kind of just fall apart and not really able to get even the motors running. So kind of a weird situation for him. I mean, he does get a player who I think I would be more confident in him winning over maybe some others, because Dark has not been around, and I feel like this league is like if you fall behind in the, like, everyone's improving, and if you're falling behind him in that, you're kind of like you now have to make up more ground to get back into the rhythm. So Dark is kind of in a rough spot here. I don't really know how he's going to play or where his head's at, but I mean, it's cool to see that he's returned. I just don't know what he's going to do on the table. That's the thing. I mean, that does help in the sense that Mack is playing an unknown in a sense where he doesn't really know what to expect, but I'm not sure how much Dark can really show here. We'll see. I mean, realistically, for Dark's return, this is probably one of the more favorable one. This was probably the most favorable 1 seed you could get, because max volatility with potentially losing early, like he's done before. But yeah, I mean, I remember my first match in this league was against Dark, so I don't know how much he's changed since then. I don't know if I'm not sure. Like, this is so much unknown with this that maybe an upset happens, but from what I am guessing, this is kind of Dark's just in a rough spot, because when you come back after a break, you kind of can feel like you're falling behind. So that's the one worry I have with Dark. We'll see if Mack can prove why he should be a 1 seed. I mean, getting this win would be a good start. Obviously, we'll want to do more than just getting past first round, but this is kind of just a check-in. Like, can you get it done when you're supposed to?
Yeah, Sandfer will like that one. Yoshi basically said, if you're basically not evolving, you're falling behind. It's just like the current regulations of any rule set. Never forget that one. But should be a good one. We'll see how Mack. Again, this is a very volatile region, as we talked about, with Mack being that 1 seed, anything can go. All right, next up, I'm really excited for this game. This is going to be a potential game of the round candidate. We're going to start it off with our 8-9. Go over to those handy-dandy graphics and transition right over. We started off with the Gangsta, Onjack, March 2023 champion. It's been a long time since Peter Onjack has even sniffed the Elite 8, let alone a tournament win. But he does have 17 career wins. We know what the Gangsta can do. He's one of the more interesting players in the league, more silent assassin type. And where is Christian Tagoe going to be? Because last year was not prime time, as he talked about prime time CJ, as they always like to call himself. Mr. Light Switcher, well, his bill was overdue, unfortunately, on the electricity last year. But this is an interesting one. I think this is a proving. I think this is going to be an early statement game. Who's going to prove to themselves they're the king of a tournament winner? They both got their best finish, too. In T3, something's got to give. 4 and 5, both got medals and trophies aligned. This is going to be a classic game, and for that, we're going to go 2 classic people calling this one. We're going to start it off with ProArt, and then we'll go back to Charles Sandfer. Caesar can feel free to type in the chat as well. What do we think here, Pro? 2 classic guys. What are we thinking about this one?
Well, when you get into a game like this where 2 classic guys are, sometimes though the classic style of one might not work with the classic style of the other. And this is going to be the key focus here with this one. I think Tagoe has taken some time maybe to refocus himself after maybe not one of his best years last year. And this could be a time for him to rebound and get that confidence back. But then you got Peter, and it's always been guessing what could happen with him. And if he has that confidence booster, who knows? Maybe this is going to bring back the Peter of old, and he could be a tough competitor to beat.
I appreciate that, Pro Sandfer. You know, year 2, about 20 career series wins. Tagoe's looking for that. What do you think on this one, buddy?
Yeah, so I pointed out, I didn't even think about it at the time of doing this, but this is the exact same seed number overall wise that Peter was to start last year.
Yeah,
but
this is
for
retirement
me,
benefit too. He got some retirement benefits with some people leaving. That helped
yeah,
out
he
as
did.
well.
But Peter will always be able to lay claim to being the inaugural T1 winner. But unfortunately, long gone are the days where he was the top. Tagoe then, meanwhile, comes into this one, needing to prove that 2024 wasn't a fluke after just a disastrous 4-win season last year. The intriguing part to me for this one is that for either player, this pod has the path to be able to get to a Sweet 16 to start the year. And I will maintain that if you average a Sweet 16 for the entire year, you should have a resume that at least puts you into consideration for being in Super League, if not in Super League. So if for either of these players, if they can start this year off getting to Sweet 16 versus starting 0-1 for either of these players, there's a lot on the line for this particular 8-9. I will say both players do have a tendency to be the one-trick pony, which could be a problem. But I think that Tagoe's main play does play well for Peter. And I'm going to say Peter gets this win 4-2.
Yeah, the only thing I would say, if Peter does win this and Mack does win, buckle up. Those guys, they play some crazy series. How many times have we
Peter
seen
is
Peter
2-0
Mack
against
go to
him.
7? Was that?
But Peter is 2-0 against Mack.
True. But if that happens, that could be a crazy game. We've seen some barners with those ones, and that was back in 23 and 24. We'll see how this Mack. I don't think they play with the new Mack version either. We'll see. All right, next game. This next game, you know, if this was last year, I'd be all over this one because I think this would be a game of the unknowns would come into play. But as we go to the 413 line here, but this was a tough line to pick, and there's a reason why a lot of these guys got bumped. I'm gonna have to go to Sandfer on this one. This isn't one to explain. For Yepez, he moves up here mainly because of, well, we lost Gon and we lost Vapor, because he originally would have been a 5. He would have been the high 5, as you could say, the best 5. But he moves up, similar to Llamas, forgot to mention that. So he's on this 4 line, basically part of the Super League clan that didn't make it. He's also looking for career win number 30. Me and him will be the 2 guys looking for that. And he's playing somebody that he does know, but I haven't heard much a lot of Jenna this offseason. It's been a quiet offseason. It's going through some school stuff. I think this was last year. There could be an upset heaven, but I'm going to bring up 2 people here. We're going to bring up Sandfer, and also actually I'll go back to Pro on this one because Pro knows a thing or two about Yepez. Sandfer, your thoughts on this movable 13 line? Because we had to make a lot of adjustments on this line. This was tough.
Yeah, and Jenna actually is one of the ones that moves up to this line without even playing the Promoters Cup, which tells you a lot about this 13. For Yepez, let's just book it. We know what Yepez is going to do this year. He's going to get an average finish of like 17 or like 13 point something. He's going to have like the best average finish all year of any player. And he's going to finish 17th in the overall standings. Because he's done that the last 2 years. So he does get boosted up to this because the absences of Super League players last year. Otherwise, he would have been the top 5 seed in Region 1, or getting Region 1. And he gets a Jenna who needs a good start after only managing 1 win last year. I mentioned she didn't play the Practice Cup, gets up to here kind of on a fluke, but maybe she can prove us wrong on that one. The problem is going to be, since there's no Promoters Cup to see if she's changed any play style, I'm going to base my thoughts on this based off of what we saw from both players. And so I'm going to say that Yepez covers this one handily 4-1.
All right, we'll go over to Pro. Pro, you thinking this is going to be a massive year for Yepez? You think it's a bounce back? You saw that in D1 Live. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Look, it's been the same story the past. Last year was that story. He needed a bounce back because he barely missed out of Super League. It happened again. He missed out of Super League. He needs to bounce back. I think he keeps doing that every time now for the past 2 years. I hope it's not a third, but we gotta wait and see on this. I think Jenna though could be a little bit tricky though. We'll see how this gets done. I can't wait to see how this matchup is.
It'll be a good game. I think this one, again, the 13 line was a little bit of a moving object. No stream on this one. Yepez dealt looking for 30. We'll see if he can get it done in his career. Next game will be an interesting game. When we talk about changes in the offseason, I might as well call and do it right here. This is just for you, buddy. Dun, 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 dun. Max Verstappen. That's right. Nam's in the building. He's going back to the OG Max when we watched him back in 2015. Holy moly. Nam in the building with the 33. That does seem right, though. He is young puppy. And Nam, ironically, debuted when Mack debuted at 16. 21 career wins, 2-time medalist, silver and bronze. I got to say, man, he's going for 200 career starts. He should be able to get that in Game 3. We'll see. I think he is in the building, but he can just type his thoughts out. But he's going to have an interesting game because he's playing, ironically, Seth, who's 33 years old. So what a weird world. This is probably the biggest age gap we have, I think, in terms of matches. 17 years. This is a generational game in terms of age gaps. We'll see how this one plays on the actual table, though. I can't read Nam's thoughts, so I want to bring up 2 people. I want to bring up, obviously, well, Nam's not going to come to YouTube, but I want to bring up, Caesar, your thoughts on this game. I'm going to go to Short here, if he can. I know he might be muted, but I want to go to Short, and Caesar, if Short's muted, then we'll go back to Yoshi. But we'll start it off with Short. Are you good, or are you busy, man? We'll go with Yoshi. You good, buddy?
Hi.
Your thoughts on Nam versus Seth? This is an interesting game because he's one of our streaming buddies, of course.
Yeah, I think the thought we had, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, is like, Seth joining the stream team last year, was he going to find a way to maybe take what he watches from afar in the broadcast booth and take it to the table. It didn't work out too well last season. Not the. I wouldn't say this is the worst draw you could get on a 12/5. Very winnable game. No disrespect to Nam at all. He definitely is capable of getting this one done, but this is going to be a close one. And I think it goes 7. I'm not sure who gets it, but actually, I'm gonna say this. Nam, I know you're typing your thoughts, but when you get a second, get heads or tails. Just let me know.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh god.
Yeah, but not heads or tails. That there is no. This is a binary choice. A binary choice.
She says you never know. I gotta watch. All right, then we'll go to. Actually, no. Let's go to. Forget it. We'll go to pro. Pro. You were the last match Nam played. One of the last matches played in T5. Your son Nam. What makes him so dynamic?
I think it's just his calculated moves sometimes can be a little bit tricky, and I noticed that last year in T5. He can be a little bit calculated here. If he could do this with Seth, Nam might be able to get past him. But if Seth can figure out the moves before Nam can, Nam's going to be in a real tough battle.
It'll be an interesting one. I think for Nam, Sam, if you want to read his comments, go ahead. What is he saying?
So he said, well, in this league, can't underestimate anyone. I don't have too much to say about this match, and hoping the series is a great one.
Yeah, no, he's tight-lipped about it. You know, he's a very he plays a good character. That's all I can say with Nam. He's one of those character guys. There's no doubt. But we'll see how he does.
I will say, I think Mr. Lonely gets the 4th.
Had to call him out like that. Wow.
Whoa.
Damn.
Whoa. Had to call him out like that, man. That's just wrong.
Damn.
It's early in the year. We gotta use it.
Gotta use it.
You never know what nicknames are gonna die. That's the problem.
That's true. Never know. Ooh, Sandfer going with some heat. Spicy Sandfer? Anyway. We'll have to keep that in mind. It might be the new heat check. Anyway. Move on. Nam and Seth will be, again, more of a game of who's going to win out? Is it the experience of life or that young bull mentality?
Not bull, remember this.
Next one. Let's see how we do on this one. Ed says it's a good match. It will be a good matchup. You call it a couple games too. All right, this is going to be our, I guess you call it our rematch zone, rematch alley, because we have a couple of those. Spoiler alert. We'll start with the first one. I mentioned the character. Well, background character was a good character last year. And for background, what a season! 9 career wins. Obviously, now we're starting again to that national fair, of course, from Wales. Got that 1 medal, taking care of business back in Jackpot June 25. Taking care of, I believe it was Caesar in the P3 game. And of course, for background, well, we talk about name changes. We talk about some fun. If Christian Tagoe was here, I'm sure a bird of any variety would be this guy's way. It'd be going to Thunda now. Now, originally, now Thunda, he had a what the actual heck moment in the Promoters Cup. Looked terrible against Evan, and then somehow makes a reverse comeback against Pikachu. I don't know where this is at. Background leads the series all time 1-0, 4-2. But keep in mind, Background led that series 4-2 with a 1-0 head start. This should have been going 7 if it hadn't been for shenanigans. Closer than you think. I'm going to go with 2 people on this one. I want to go to, if Llamas is around, I don't know, he might be eating dinner. If not, we'll go to Sandfer, and we'll go back to Pro here. We'll go Sandfer. Your thoughts on this one? Because Background, we know what Background could do, but Thunder, he had some brilliances in that second game against Pikachu in the Cup, and he almost could have took care of Background if it hadn't been the incident with the scheduling last year. Caesar, your thoughts on this one too? Go ahead.
Oops. Well, you threw me a curveball because this is not the matchup I was expecting at this spot.
What are you talking about?
I definitely had someone else spot. I didn't realize because I think I think we must have made we thought about making a change to Radin's spot after his
What?
second game.
It's
What is
Caesar.
Okay. I'm gonna ad lib it.
Damn! Golly.
I don't know what to say with Radin. The problem is gonna be he is so big of a wild card. Some moments he looks insanely brilliant, and then other times he looks like a total dweeb.
Oh my.
So
Oh Jay,
I'll
I'm
say
sorry, Jay.
background 4-2. Background obviously gets locked into the spot because he was a Super League guy. So, I don't have anything to like fully prepare and say on that. So we're just gonna have to leave it at that.
We'll go over to Pro. Your thoughts? I thought I messed up. I'm sorry, gents. I don't know what was going on. I didn't know Jay was pulling the rug under me.
That was legendary.
That was
Hey.
great.
Appreciate you, bro. Go ahead, Pro.
Okay, here's the thing. I think the CPU is kind of going a little bit off here on this. And look, you can try to call me out on this and call me crazy, but I think this matchup could actually go 7.
Not a bad
Here's the
prediction.
here's the reason why. I think Thunda could maybe try to battle background here with certain strategies. We saw this in the Promoters Cup. Thunder did very good with certain strategies. Could background kind of do the same thing with those certain strategies? I think it's going to be a close battle.
It's going to be a close battle. I agree, Art. I think the fact of the matter is when you have a rematch, anything can go right, and that's the beauty of Rematch Island. I guess that's what we'll call it. But that'll be your 215. A little bit Battle of Europe going around here. Turkey versus Wales. We'll see how that one goes down. Of course, Radin into Thunder now. And he's got an Aiden Smith number. He's going with the old 89. That was old Aiden Smith's number, so we'll see how he does there. All right, we'll move over now to our 7-10. And Sanford, I just say Rematch Island? Rematch Island strikes again. This is the rematch. Let's start it off with probably the most interesting man in this call, Pro Ard, the professional. Obviously, we all know the Pro Ard stigma, right? Pro Ard, round 1, top tier. We always know about that. But for Pro, 11 career wins. He's from Texas, and considering it's just him and Bryan now from Texas, it's kind of dwindling down. We used to have 6 to 8 players from Texas. But he gets a rematch, and ironically, this is probably our most closest game on paper with D. Kurtis. Kurtis leads this series all time 4-2. But again, like Ard, 24, 26 in age. Super League for Kurtis, of course. There's never made Super League, but both have 11 career wins. If you want a game that's close and it's going down to the wire, this is going to be that game. I'm going to go to Pro here, and then we'll also go to Yoshi. Pro, your thoughts on Kurtis? You've got a lot of respect for this guy. You talked to me about this in the preseason leading up. You have a lot of respect for D. Kurtis. What are you looking for in this game?
I'm going to just hope for another great battle. You never expect someone that you never faced before, but I think Kurtis and I are just going to be ready to bring out a show, and it's hopefully going to be a good one. I can't wait to do it.
All right, we'll go over to Yoshi, your thoughts on Pro Ard versus Kurtis? This could be an interesting one.
So yeah, playing DJ, at least when I did, it was interesting. It used to, DJ obviously leveled up, but now it's kind of hard to really say because they're kind of in like the middle of the pack now where they're not really able to go on a run anymore. But they can get some good wins here and there, so they're never like out. You never feel like they're out of it. And Ard, you can kind of say the same. I think he had an Elite 8 run last year, or I might be wrong, but yeah, okay. So these are two players where they're in a similar situation, and I feel like they're gonna look to have a big run to really see if they can break the barriers that they've had. I mean, obviously DJ was in Super League, but I mean, definitely not the result he wanted there. So you almost feel like should he have even been there in the first place? So it's kind of like DJ almost never was in Super. It almost feels like he never was in Super League because he just did not have a good time. So it's. I'm very curious. Like, I mean, this match itself should be pretty close. I would be surprised if one of them destroys the other. I mean, I would like to see the winner of this go on a bit of a run because we don't really see that from either of these two very often. I feel like they both have the potential to make Super League. It's just, how far can they go after they get whoever gets this done? How far can they go? That's the big question. But yeah, realistically, this is going to be a good match.
Rematch pod, Sandfer. Anything can happen, buddy. You know how we go with those. So it should be a fun one with both those two. Appreciate those Yoshi art. Looking forward to seeing you play. As those will be, ironically, again, we talked about the milestone games. That's really what's making the bulk of these stream games. This is another non-stream game. I'd say both these matchups, and there is one more rematch we'll talk about. If it had been any other tournament, they would have all been on stream. But this shows you how milestones have taken over the league. Anyway, let's get to it. Next game. We're going to start it off with a guy that had a really good Super League run. But forget Super League, great season overall. You look at the man, the myth, the legend. Of course, Smith, everyone knows that guy. I call him Mr. Rainman on the promotions. He always promoting. This guy is one of the best OGs at promoting in any league, really. And for Myth, a season full of surprises, I think, is a good for him. He's got 15 career wins now. He's got that auto April P3 with, of course, that split game when we talked about those with myself, Yepez, Abion as well, and T1 too, and those P3 splits with the try and get the CSR in the game. But he's playing a guy that, I don't know too much about, believe it or not. We saw Evan play in that Promoters Cup, but I don't know too much about this guy because, remember, we do know he's an active player. But in terms of the play style, hard to read, definitely more interesting all over the board. We're going to go with two people. We're going to go with Sandfer and G. There's the Myth, Evan, for you. We'll start off with Sandfer. Sandfer, you watched him in the Cup. We all know what Myth can do. What are you looking for here on this game? Because this could be an interesting one. Myth loves that classic.
Yeah, I mean, I watched him in this Promoters Cup, as you know. Well, no, I mean, it was hard to try and figure out a good spot to place him because Evan's games were kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
So obviously Myth ends up being the final player in this group that gets seeded off of their Super League finish. I don't really have much to say on this one. I'm gonna say 4-2 Myth feels like how this one will go. So I'm gonna again kind of agree with the computer.
All right, we'll go to G, who's got the scoop on Evan. Go ahead, G. All you, buddy. Put everything in.
Yeah, so I think the interesting thing about Evan is he was one of those people who was able to claim one of those LCQ spots in the D2 championship last season, which is kind of like a last chance for some of the people who kind of end up being borderline. That was a small LCQ field, also only 8 players. He barely snuck in to that one, but made the most of it, got the wins there, beat Ami and Bob Ross in that one to make it in, and then actually had a pretty good showing in the D2 championship, made it all the way to lower bracket quarterfinals, was able to beat Joao, who was the other LCQ winner, and then also got a big win over Cody Smart, who will be coming up at some point in the show. But yeah, I mean, I think Evan is definitely going to be a wild card this season. Not really sure what to expect. He could be someone who bursts onto the scene, but he could also be someone who struggles right out of the gate. We'll have to see, but definitely someone that could go either or in terms of where he lands in terms of the overall season picture. But this is a very interesting matchup for him to open up with. I believe he does have experience with Myth in the past outside of this league, but I will be curious to see how this one plays out. This is definitely going to be a very interesting D1 introduction for him, I guess officially, with going up against a player like Myth who likes to overwhelm the opponents with his speed.
Yeah, Speed Demon Myth. We know that 7 cards, fly, and watch him take off. We'll see how he does against the Speed Demon for Evan, the rookie. All right, we'll go to the last match, the old 6-11. And this one will be interesting because we started off with a player that now understands the game a little bit more after that hiatus in 24, back in 25. Had a decent season. Obviously, Aria, 2-time medalist from the past, blast from the past, Super League Brazil 23, of course, March Madness and College Theme 23. Were her 2 medals. Had a good season, just to get back, get the old sea legs under her. Now, we'll play another promoter, and, well, I would say definitely one of the more interesting promoters we got, maybe one of the most polarizing promoters we got. The none other than Cody Smart. Cody Smart, of course. He's the media mogul, as I call him. Mr. Media. We all know what he can do. I think I'm only going to go to one preview on this one because it's other than Pro Art. Going to talk about his boy Cody Smart. Pro Art, all
Let's
you
not
here,
make fun.
buddy. Thoughts on this one?
Okay.
Cody Smart,
Let
man.
me just go with this. Aria, we know how good Aria is. Even though last year was a bit of a retuning, she is coming back now, probably refocused and ready to get going. But then Cody Smart is a polarizing figure. Because sometimes if things are going right, there's no problems. But then once something goes wrong, he starts to make some noise and he kind of gets a little too far out there. If Cody Smart focuses a lot more and not get too overwhelmed, he could have an opportunity, but this is a big test immediately off the bat for him.
Well, let's bring up the main man of the hour, Cody Smart. Take care of it, Art. Cody Smart, welcome to the chat, buddy. Welcome to the stage. Your thoughts on this game, man? You got a lot of respect for Aria. Obviously, you've seen her from far in the community. What are you looking for in this one?
I mean, I kind of guess like going into T1, I was going to get someone a little tricky. I mean, after dominating the Promoters Cup, I was expecting someone like in top 25 territory. So this is right around the money for me. But I mean, Aria is a talent of her own. Absolutely no problem about it. I mean, her best run in T4, taking down multiple heavyweights. Like, if there's a time of the year that she can get hot, I know T1 is one of those times, and T4 seems to be the other. So I know I'm gonna have to keep my wits around Aria, basically play 100%. Hopefully, just Carla goes towards my favor because we all know as soon as it doesn't, I'm basically fumbling the ball. So the main goal here is to really not fumble the ball. I know what kind of range of cards she usually goes for. So in that particular case, I'm going to have to hope for luck to go towards my favor more than my skill. But the long game needs to be worked on because she is a real threat when there's not many cards left in the deck.
Appreciate that, Cody. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Aria, more of that player that goes with the 7, 8, the 9, the mid-tier, similar to Brock. We all know you're a big upper-tier merchant. Cody Smart also changed his number this year. This is a classic matchup on numbers, if you know, you know, with the old TG54 and the old Cage 20 back in the day. Should be a good one. Appreciate you, Cody, man. Thank you for taking time out of your day, man. Looking forward to seeing you in round 1, my man.
Hey, thank you so much.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, my man. All right, we'll go to Not Short with the full bracket. It's all OBS and crap recap here. Let's see. Still cracking, or are we good? There we go. And there's the old Wizard region. Want to thank G for giving the Wizard. Obviously, we got a little purple gold action going on here. We got, of course, Illinois versus Missouri, a little Midwest showdown with Dark and Mack Johnson. Gets called the Experience Bowl. Peter Tagoe, going to be a classic game of Illinois. Seems to be a states of champions out there against New York. We got Jenna Yepez in a classic Venezuela versus Tennessee, just like we drew it up. We got Nam, who's technically in Florida, but is on vacation right now. I won't say where he's at. We'll keep that a secret. Against Seth from New York. We got, of course, the old Northeast showdown, New York versus VT, the old Vermont, with Cody versus Aria. And we got Myth and Evan, Florida versus New York. That's a classic state battle. Our DJ in the rematch. Little Kansas versus Texas right there. And, of course, the rematch again with background Thunda, Wales, and Turkey. Sandfer thoughts in this region? This is an interesting one, man. We got a lot of rematches here, which is interesting. A couple rookies, but what will Mack do? He controls the cards. What are we looking at?
Well, I mean, you say Mack controls cards, but I think the intriguing part to this one is going to be the fact that Mack is still I guess a wild card in himself as a 1 seed, because I don't know if I can still trust him to go much farther past dark, even if he gets past dark at all. So I think this is the region where if you were not gonna be one of the top 3 seeds, and basically when I say that, basically being one of the people that's outside Super League from last year, this is the region you wanted to be in, because Mack doesn't have a whole lot of series wins outside of that one tournament that he went deep. So he's really all or nothing, and I think for that reason, this is definitely the wide open spot. I'd expect Yepez to kind of take advantage of that, considering he'd have the winner of that top pod in that Sweet 16. So this kind of looks like a bracket that could come up Yepez.
You think Yepez, the old former world champion? We'll see. It's going to be interesting. You know, we talked about anything can happen with the volatility of these one lines, and this is a good example in the Wizard region. But as Short said, we're moving along nice flowing here, as we talked about, trying to keep this thing under 4 hours and whatnot, and we're doing a good job. I like this format so far. I think also got rid of easy pull too. That kind of helped as well. Forgot that was also a pain. Shout out Pick'em. Appreciate Pick'em, man. That's all Short. Appreciate the there with that.
Which will be opening shortly after the show.
Yes, sir. All right, here we go. We're in the dream region.
Yep, as I call BS on that. Come on.
What do you say?
He's not good. He says he's not going to beat Jenna.
I'm not going to win against Jenna.
All right, he's doing that background style.
Oh, right? He's saying that the match isn't even going to happen.
Don't say that, man. Come on.
Can we not manifest DQs, please?
That's the second. You manifested an Ellison DQ. That's wrong, man. That's wrong. That ain't right. That's wrong.
The Ellison DQ call is insane, bro.
He was active in the cup. That's insane.
Yeah,
no more of that. I won't accept that. That's crazy. That means you're just basically saying these guys didn't act. That ain't right. No, I won't stand for that. But anyway, back to where we're at. I got to do this because
she wasn't, because she was already in D1.
What is
she didn't want? She didn't play in the cup. Yeah.
Declined due to college, man.
Yes.
Anyway, enough with those side quests. As
we check activity, by the way.
Yes.
We check in with everyone.
Let's get back. Yeah, let's get back to it. Let's get back again. We talked about this with the cup. That was just a litmus test. It was optional. Let's keep in mind. Anyway, I wanted to do this because there is a special guy in the chat tonight. I gotta go for my boy here. This is the Dream Acosta. I wanted to send this one out to him, buddy. These dreams go on when I close my eyes. Every second of the night, I live another life because Mr. Krabs is in the building. Let's bring him up, boys. Mr. Krabs. We're gonna have him. He's gonna be an interesting match. But Mr. Krabs Acosta, what a season! 26 years old, 14 career wins, back-to-back bronzes, apocalyptic August in Super League 2025. He's got a new lease on life, similar to Mack. I call him the new lease on life, bros. But he's gonna have the hardest draw, and I'm gonna tell you right now. If you would have told me this was a 116, I would have agreed with you. I just wouldn't think Jesse Turner is a 16 seed. This guy has 23 career wins. I mean, this is the ultimate 1 versus 16. What do you got to say about this other than buckle up? JT, of course, looking for that 200th career start. Acosta looking to spoil it. I mean, let's get to the horse's mouth right here. Is Acosta in the building? Ard, you're going to get this one, Sandfer. We'll start with RSM. We'll bring up Acosta. Sam, for your thoughts on this one, this is a polarizing 116. Everyone thought it'd be the other way around a year ago.
I mean, if this was 2024, yes, this would have been the other way, where it would, or well, 2025 even. It definitely would have been the other way around, whereas Turner is the 1, Acosta is the 16. But I mean, how can you not have Turner at this spot, or at least on this line, when he's one of the people that went winless last year? So I'm hoping for Turner's sake that he plays well in this game, gets off the 16 line, and I hope that we see some semblance of the 2014 Turner, because his 2025 season was just hard to watch.
Yeah, 2024. He got married. He went on a tropical resort vacation. Everything was right, and then he ran to Ashley and hasn't been the same ever since. But let's bring up the man, Acosta. What an off season you had, man! What a season last year. I want to tell the story to the people at home. If you hadn't beat Yoshi in T3, you're not even in this. You're retiring. No one had this, man. No one had this on the bingo card. Flash forward a year later, you're now a 1 seed. The last time you were on a 116 line, you were playing me in March, and that was the game you showed up late. And ever since then, it's been fly like an eagle. What's been the turnaround story? Your thoughts on playing JT, which would have been a New York on New York crime, but unfortunately he was Tennessee, so no in-state rivalry, but a good rivalry nonetheless. What's your thoughts on this one?
It's very interesting to say the least. Even though Turner is a big opponent, I would say, even though he went winless last year. But given his track record, I know he will give his best, because you did say earlier that he had time off, he was getting married, all that stuff. But for me, I really like this matchup, because it was going to show if Turner wants it as much as I do in this match.
Boy, Acosta calling it right there. He wants it bad. We'll go to Pro. Pro, thoughts on that, man? We got Acosta here. Your thoughts on Acosta? You wanted to say something about his season last year. We'll go to you, man. Then we'll get it going. Go ahead,
Here's the thing, Acosta going from almost the bottom of the barrel, making it almost a Super League tournament champion, is one of the greatest stories. Now you got a tough opponent in Turner, who went from the top all the way down to the bottom, and I'm kind of hoping that this matchup lived up to the hype. This one is gonna be probably one of the best 1 versus 16 matchups so far that it has been announced that could bring up a challenge.
Yeah, we saw last year Eric Monaco, probably the most famous 116 upset has to be, well, 2 of, I guess, M over Gold, and then the old ALP insanity, man. The Sharpie sanity when he beat Peter Onjack. Acosta, my friend, keep flipping those Krabby Patties, man. We'll see you back at the Krusty Krab come this upcoming week. All right, buddy?
Will do.
All right, man.
Can't wait
Appreciate
to
it. Krusty Krab, Christine the Dream Acosta. We'll see how he does against JT. Should be a fun one. All right, this next match, we talked about this 8-9 line. It's spicy. There's a reason why this next one's spicy, because it's got a little bit extra sauce. And we'll talk to you about in these wings. We started off with the fast in the West. And he was not the fastest last year in terms of making Super League. Was not on a fast track to that. But a really good season for Ghost despite that. 4 wins. And considering a lot of the times he was a little bit all over the board, he did rally and had some good matches. Sure, he didn't make Super League, but he knew what he was doing. This is going to be an interesting draw, though. He's going up against a man coming back from what should have been a Super League appearance in 24 due to unreal life circumstance. He's back on the table, basically pulling that Aria. Eli Gabrat. Eli is a guy that, when he locked in, dangerous. But the fact that this is an in-state battle, it's Golden State on Golden State, Cali versus Cali. 16 on 17, 13 on 15 career wins in terms of the numbers. Yeah, this is another even match. Reminds me a lot of DJ Ard. Sandfer, this is all you, man. You're gonna take this one because the bottom line here is this is California State duel. We have a lot of these in the league. What are you looking for to this one? Both red cards as well.
Yeah, both red cards. In all honesty, so with this one, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have a phone call ring in the background. It's not one I have to take. So if you hear a phone, I'm sorry. Otherwise, if it was one I had to take, I'd take it. But yeah, Battle of California here. Eli seeding. We took a lot of inspiration from where we had seeded Aria to start 2025. And the reason why is because we took the idea that if Eli didn't have his off-table issues, he would have been in Super League 2020 in the 2025 season. I think, or no, am I thinking 25 or I'm thinking
24?
24.
He was on track.
So he would have been in Super League in 24 if it wasn't for the off the field issues. So his situation was a lot similar to Aria in that regard. And Aria, we ended up, I'm pretty sure we had given a 9 seed year prior. So this also ends up being a very intriguing matchup just because it is the Battle of California. Both players can play pretty quick. And I am going to, I think I'm going to agree with the computer truthfully on this. Just because it is the 9 line, and I've already picked one 8 seed to win, so I can't pick another. I definitely can't pick 2 8 seeds to win. So I'll agree with the computer. I'll say 4-3 Eli.
Yeah, it'll be a good game. I think both guys, the fact that it's an interstate showdown, a lot of these guys know each other. It's going to add an extra sauce on those wings that I think a lot of people are looking forward to. So it should be a fun one. But Eli, the streets will learn why Eli can't ride with oh, Jay with the streets talk. All right. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Prime Eli, yeah. And Prime Fitzy back in the day, yeah.
Joao and Voiles are casuals. They don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, and plus, anyone that wasn't around for 24 wouldn't have seen Eli play. So
therefore, casuals.
Yeah, you weren't around. We'll see how it goes. We'll go to the next matchup here as we keep it rolling. Should be a fun with the 8. Now we'll go to the old 4-13 coming up here. We'll go to the transition. And, well, this person is the definition of volatile because it seems to be a trend here right now with another Illinois player. VeriGold was absolutely on fire the back half of the year, but the first half, 0-2 with some tough losses, and a loss to Bowtie even, which is no longer here. Which is crazy to think about. But for Gold, accomplished career, double silver, got that gold, 3-time medalist, Summer Recharge, Super League Brazil, and Jackpot June 25. Well, we talked about it. He's been one of the stars of this reveal show. None other than our buddy Joao. This is an interesting one. He changed his number. He's got Nam's old magic with that old 14. Joao, you're going to have to correct me, buddy. I put you down as 19. Correct me on the age if I'm wrong. I just took a guess. Feel free to correct me. Regardless, my man.
Go on.
I got it? Did I get it? Damn, 20. I'm off fault there.
This is some shit right here. Excuse me.
I love how Joao said, "I'm going to pick."
I'm picking Gold to win against whoever they facing. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Well, we're gonna have Pro Art and Short call this one. Pro Art, your thoughts on the match? Not Short. I'm sorry, Pro Art and G. Pro Art, your thoughts on this game? Joao, he's been an interesting one.
Here's the thing. That had to be one of the funniest things to just see out of nowhere.
The
like
immediate
Joao,
182. I'm picking Gold too. Oh.
Joao really insert dolphin noise here. Right, Cody Smart. Right, Cody Smart.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. But regardless, back to this match. VeriGold is a good competitor. Very, very unique. But then you got Joao. He can be a little bit interesting. we'll see how this goes. Gonna be an interesting matchup, but I'm gonna hope Joao's confidence is gonna work up before then.
Um,
Can't go any worse than where when he saw the matchup.
is he coming on stage or no? He's gonna type, right?
I think.
Okay. G, your thoughts on Joao? Then he's just typing, I think.
Oh, he wants to talk if he wants. He can come.
Come on, invite. You know,
Joao's spoken before, so we could get a word from him.
Come on up.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, buddy? Appreciate you staying. What time is it over there? 1 a.m. 2?
It's almost 2 a.m.
My good lord, 1:51. Appreciate you making time. You're like Luke, man. OG. Thoughts on playing VeriGold here? VeriGold's been an accomplished player in this league. One of the more accomplished one in terms of medals. How you gonna try to get in VeriGold's head, buddy?
VeriGold has to be one of my favorite D1 players. I'm very excited for this match. I'm just excited in general. But it is very unfortunate what I said earlier. I was gonna say, oh, VeriGold has to beat everyone they play, and then I see it's me, and it's like fuck merda caralho, immediately.
Apologize for any language for any people, but yeah, appreciate it, man.
We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
You are. I
too,
really.
man.
You remind me a lot of Fitzwater, man. You like the young Fitzwater. You're really energetic. You're Mr. Excitement. How are you going to try to bring that excitement over to some of these games? Why? Do you think you can pick up any reads from Go maybe in the past? Go look at old games. What are you thinking on that study element?
I'm gonna play Roost. I'm gonna play a Roost. I'm just gonna do whatever I want out there. It's gonna be an interesting match.
I appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you staying up till 2 a.m. God bless you. G, your thoughts on Joao? You want to say some words about him? Go ahead. Of course, our runner-up in T2 this year. In D2.
Well, I mean, again, technically scheduling hasn't even started, but unfortunately, we already have someone that's down in their series, so Joao's gonna have to pick it back up once that game actually starts. But besides that, yeah, Joao is our other LCQ winner. Evan was the first. Joao is our second one. He beat on his way to getting there. I'm just quickly checking to make sure I have my facts right for the first one. Words. They beat Bree in short to make it to the D2 championship. Actually, ironically, their entire playoff run was just getting revenge on the people they lost to in the regular season. So that was kind of funny. Because they lost to Bree in the regular season. They lost to J Money in the regular season, who he would go on to beat in the opening round of the D2 championship. And then he also beat, I believe, Tagoe. So technically, the only player that Joao has not gotten has a receipt on at the moment to try to get their payback is Evan. Ironically, everyone else he's played, he has at least evened up the series record. But another thing interesting about Joao, this is a little bit more frequent with the 2025 rookies, but he's the only one who actually joined mid-season that ended up getting promoted. J Money technically missed tournament 1, but he was in there, and he also played in tournament 4 of 2024. But Joao straight up joined in tournament 2 of 2025 and made it to the finale in their debut tournament. So was able to come onto the scene very quickly. And had a pretty good season, even with the one tournament handicap, getting 7 wins in the regular season. And overall did a pretty good job. So, Joao is definitely one of the more it's definitely, I would say, a rookie that is definitely has one of the more, the bigger personalities. You'll definitely see a lot of him around the table, but we will see how he does. Unfortunately, going up against his favorite D1 player, it does not bode him well to start, and we kind of saw the whole situation that happened when this was getting revealed. But, I think Joao is someone who has a lot of upside, and if we have anything to go off from his first ever tournament in D2, he could be someone to watch out for, especially if he gets through this match and could potentially go on a run. We'll have to see.
VeriGold will also have 200 career starts. That exclusive club starts to get a little bit more people in it. Well, in game 2, we'll keep that in mind. Again, a lot of milestones. We're going to be passing them out like candy. this tournament as we get a lot of milestone breakers for sure. All right, that was a long one. Appreciate Joao for coming up here. We'll keep it rolling here as I think that is background character. Yeah, background. Welcome, background. You're playing now Thunda, formerly Rad. See how you do in that game. Rematch City. All right, we'll go to the 5 line. We'll start with a guy that has been a hit or miss, really. Our favorite captain from Latvia. Good old Cap. I just joined the ref department. Shout out Cap. He's going to help us out with a couple games. Always wanted him as a ref and, waived his waiver because why not? Anyway, Cap has 19 career wins. He's also going for that illustrious 20. Got that 1 medal. Aquatic April. Fun fact, Cap, well, you got to say he could be a favorite because the last time I picked a theme, that was Aquatic April. So something to keep in mind. And he's going up against a rookie, I would say the #1 fan in this league in terms of just being at every dang stream. It's a Europe-on-Europe showdown. New England versus Latvia. Luke, he was our T1 champion last year in D2. I'm not sure if he's going to say any words because it's really late. He doesn't like to talk this late, but we'll see. We'll give him a chance to say his piece. This is going to be a good one. I'm going to take this one, and then I'm also going to have G take this one as well, Luke. I like this match because it's a low-tide master versus a guy in Luke that can really, I think, play a little bit more in-depth style. The question is going to be, can he handle 5 to 8? Because that's all Cap does. We know he had that one game against Hockey where he inexplicably went 14, 15. I don't know what that was about. But when Cap is at his peak, it's low tier heaven. So we'll see how it goes. Pro, see if you can invite Luke up. Your thoughts on this one with Luke. See? Oh, we got Luke. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I sent him the invite to speak. So
you want to give your thoughts on Luke before we get to him?
Oh yeah, sure. Luke was one of the last people to claim a promotion spot and actually won the February Flurry from last season. So coming in with a tournament victory here. So this is another matchup between 2 players who have won a tournament before. For Luke, had a great start to the season. Middle portion didn't quite go the way he was hoping for. Still ended up with 8 wins in the regular season, which is pretty good. Unfortunately wasn't able to do a whole lot in the D2 championship though, but still getting a tournament victory at the end of the day is good, and he did end up getting the promotion spot, so ended up working out, but we will see how this one plays out for Luke here. I know in his Promoters Cup matches, I don't know if that really I don't think that really went too well for him there either. Yeah, didn't really get much going there, so he is kind of on a bit of a cold streak at the moment, but I think he's someone that can definitely find a way to break through at some point, although I will say this is a very tough draw to get for the opening round here. Captain is someone who can very quickly start and end a series, so this is going to be a tough one for Luke here, but we saw him last season win the first tournament of a season, so who's to say he can't get off to another good start here?
All right, brother. It's KT. Welcome in, man. Appreciate you, as always, 2 a.m, still grinding it out. We got to find a little magic here this season. Trying to get back into D1, had a rough stretch. What are you looking forward to most about Cap? It's an all-European showdown. You've got a lot of respect for him off the table. What are we thinking here? Opening thoughts.
Yeah, obviously, being a rookie, you're always going to get a tough draw in round 1. You can't avoid it. You're just going to take it on the chin and move on. For Cap, it's really going to come down to those low tide starts. If I can take a couple of those against when I'm away from home. Because when it comes to low tide starts, it's just basically the luck of the draw. There's no strategy to it. If you get lucky, you get lucky. If you don't, cool, you're going to draw City maybe and get lucky that way. It's going to be an interesting match nevertheless, and yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
Nah, it will be, man. Be an interesting one. You talked about it. Low tide, Cap, one of the masters of it. Should be a fun one. We'll keep it rolling. Appreciate Luke coming on here. Going to be Luke versus Cap, Latvia versus England. Be a classic one, man, when it comes to the European showdown. We have another one we got up, of course. background versus Thunda now is another European showdown.
Luke,
so
heads or
we'll international
tails?
play. Oh God, go ahead and answer that, buddy.
Heads or
I
tails,
guess.
Luke?
What do you say? Pull the
Heads.
next game.
Cap
What is
4-3.
it?
Thank you.
Thanks, Short, for the impromptu. Let's flip it.
He didn't respond
Cap
to me the first
also.
time. I had to say it out loud.
Oh, yeah, the chat's probably blowing. But appreciate you, Luke. Thanks for making time, man. We'll look forward to seeing you. And Cap also looking for 100 career win. He just needs one. Most likely going to get that. Another guy. Welcome to the Milestone Club and the 100 career win regular season club. All right, we'll go again. We'll flip it back over to the old 215 line. Making our way downtown here as we continue in the Wizard. Obviously, Dream Region. We started off with a guy who had an interesting offseason for reasons maybe that he didn't want, but Monkey's back on the board. Obviously, for Monkey, number one player at one point last year, 20 career wins. He had that P3 back, as I said, in auto April when we were doing those split P3 games. And, Monkey, I think for him it's going to be about just mentality, get down to business, shake off the rust, and he's going to be playing a guy that we have no idea in terms of Promoters Cup. Ridley didn't play. Although he did say something in the lounge, who's he going to smoke next? It'll be an interesting match. This could be a wild card match, and for that, we're going to go to G and Sandfer on this one. Actually, no, I'm going to go forget G. G, take a break. Let's go to Yoshi. Let's give him some.
I can still do it. If you want to.
No, give you a break. Give you a break. Yoshi's been quiet. Let's get my man up here. Give you a little break. Yoshi, your thoughts on this one, man? Monkey versus Ridley. Should be an interesting game.
Yeah, this will be the last one I'll talk about because
perfect.
Yeah, but yeah. So I've seen these players before. I don't know. No, I haven't played Monkey in a tournament. But we've seen him a lot. He's been around for much every season. So it almost feels hit or miss, but more so like you kind of believe in him more compared to others who are hit or miss, because he was number one at one point in the regular season. So that's something where you have to always watch out for him. Like, I think this is a kind of one of those players who are looking pretty good, but you could easily may think it's still easy to underestimate him because of the way he is with scheduling and whatnot sometimes. But realistically, yeah, I mean he's a solid player. You have to be careful with what you do against him. If he catches you lacking, he's gonna capitalize. So this is really for Monkey. I guess it's a test of getting back into the groove that he was at least at the earlier tournaments of last season. Just trying to repeat that and make himself look good to start things off, which I think is his best chance of making Super League again. So we'll see how that goes. Ridley, more of a player we don't see as much of. I think kind of squeaked into the P2 championship at large and also squeaked into the promotion. So definitely a player where we don't know what to expect. I definitely think they're capable of doing some good stuff. I mean, I remember their first season was pretty bad, but they definitely took that to heart and improved, and it's why they're here now. So I expect good things from Ridley. I don't know if they're gonna win this, but it's definitely doable for them. I saw what they said in the lounge. They're like they seem pretty confident trying to maybe build a character. But we'll see if that mentality works out. I will be screenshotting that if they end up losing. But we'll see. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Both players, if they're confident, this should be a good match. But it really comes down to how they feel on the table, because we've seen before where things could go wrong with Monkey and potentially Ridley too if if things don't go their way to start.
All right, G, actually, I'll just go to G here because I think he gave thoughts from really.
Yeah,
G,
they were talking in the D2 lounge, and I caught them real quick, so they just kind of gave some quick thoughts here. They're very excited to debut, so they're going in not really knowing who Monkey is. So sometimes that could be an advantage. Sometimes you kind of want to go in blind. You don't want to kind of overhype it and maybe beat yourself mentally. So for Ridley, going to be interesting to watch out for. Was pretty consistent throughout the season. They were another player that was in that 8-win group. There was actually a few players that were in the 8-win group last season, but the big thing for Ridley had pretty good consistency across the board. Made it to a Final Four in Archery April, and then also another Elite 8 in Tournament 3. So I think there's potential with Ridley. I'm not really sure how they're going to fare overall in the season in terms of like the I guess the top players to watch out for in terms of rookies. I don't know. I think they're more in the middle pack for me, but I think there's someone who has the right mindset going into this, and that could go a long way. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they could bring to the table.
All right, we'll appreciate that. Should be a good one, Monkey versus Ridley. Both guys looking to be amped up at the start of the season. We'll actually no need for Sandfer there. No problem here. We'll go to the next game. No problem. Cody Smart, appreciate you, man. And Yoshi, things dipping. Yoshi, appreciate you guys for popping out. We can't wait to see you guys in action come the end of the week or next week. Appreciate it. All right, we'll move over to our next game. Yeah, no problem. I appreciate that. Well, I don't really need an introduction on this guy. Everyone knows his name. Enter the Sandman. Charles Sandford, of course, two-time silver medalist. Charles Sandford knows what's up. He's been around the block. Mr. 300, only guy in the league with over 300 career starts. He knows what to do. He knows the situation. And he gets a another California 11 game here. This time it's drip drop off the top. We'll see if he creates big range drops. We'll find out. Could be a classic battle of old school heads, too. We know Sandford, a guy that loves the experience drip. He plays an unconventional style. I'm going to Sandford right off the bat. Sandford, you got a lot of respect for this because he's the first guy you ever tested, I think, when we had that 24 crisis with TJ. You played drip. You love playing poker. What do you think about this one?
I'm not in region 1 or 4. Let's go.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Or get the pinata, get the candy. Come on now, bro.
The last 2 years in region 1 or 4, it feels like. So, yay, we're not in region 1 or 4. No.
Caesar, get the champagne.
No. I'm excited to play drip. It's going to be interesting. We didn't get a chance to play in an actual game that counted for anything last year. So, yeah, I got to go work. I just don't know where yet. So it should be interesting. We'll both know. Neither one of us is gonna want to throw too much shade towards the other. Shouldn't be any games with like not wanting to show up or anything. So we'll see what happens on the table once the cards actually start. But yeah, this should be interesting.
Well, we're going to go to a special improv. Jay Caesar in the building. Jay, thoughts on this one? This is a classic battle, buddy.
Yeah. You'll be... Oh my god, I forgot. Basically, I see this as... Oh my god. I'm sorry. Mine's blanking out.
Oh, Jay, if you unmute... Oh, my god, I'm like... All right. That's all right, Jay. I don't think he was supposed to be... It's all right. We'll go to Pro. Pro, do the subbing. Go ahead.
Okay. Here's the thing. Both of these players can play the long matchup. They can go the distance. I think it's going to be one of those very close matchups, which comes down to maybe a power play being saved up until like that game 7 moment. That's all I can probably think of with this one. I can't really decide out of these two, though, who could win.
Yeah, it's going to be a toss-up. I'm sorry, but this is when it's interstate, when it's a Golden State, anything can happen. At the end of the day, when you got an in-state rivalry, but there's a lot of respect with this one, so it should be a fun one for both players.
100% agree.
I do say so myself. What we got? What are we agreeing on?
The thing.
Oh yeah, 100%. On the pepperoni.
Yeah.
Gotcha, no problem for sure. All right, we'll move over to the next match, and well, the next match is a guy that never mind. No, he's not here. Not here. He was here, but this guy is Mr. All Around the World. You can call him because he's got 3 out of the 4, looking for one more. That's why I call Bad Brad. Bad Brad is absolutely in ecstasy right now as he watches his potential Seahawks win the Super Bowl. That's probably why he's not here tonight. But he is a 3-time medalist, Masquerade May, Movie May 2025. He is the king of T3. And, of course, he made that Super League Athens one in 2024. He's got himself the bronze there. 2 Super League appearances. What can you say, Brad? He's got 23 career wins. He's been around the block. Nothing really to say, Arden. This is just classic Brad. And who is he playing? Well, I'm going to be honest. Out of all the rookie draws, this is a tough one for Gio. Gio loves to play that classic Uno draw. I'm sorry, man, but Brad is not happy. He is a cold stone killer. Doesn't care about those games. He's one of the hardest guys to crack. This is a tough draw for Gio. I'm going to go to Pro and Sandfer. Actually, I'm going to go to Pro and G on this one. We'll start it off with Pro. Pro, your thoughts on this one? He's an all-rounder, man. He's only missing that trophy to get the quadfecta.
Basically, that's the only thing he's missing. But here's the thing. You're facing up against a guy who loves to do the draws and draw back a lot. That doesn't work a lot in this league. And when you're facing someone like Brad, he does not play around. If Gio does it even once, it might be game over real quick.
But gee, I think this is a tough draw. Brad is not an easy player. He's not going to be any inch, and he's not in for the games. Your thoughts on this one?
Gio's interesting, especially with his kind of path to get here, because in 2024, because he's been in D2 since the start, and in 2024 he did not get a single win, and then he turned it around in 2025 with a incredibly consistent season. Was in that 8-win group, but was one of 2 players to make every single Sweet 16 last season, which got him barely into the D2 championship, where he ended up having his best tournament of the season. Really turned on playoff mode there. Got all the way to a 3rd place finish and got some pretty impressive wins along the way. Beat Luke in a sweep, beat Cody Smart in a pretty good showing, strong showing. End up defeating Mark as well. Then ultimately will lose to the eventual top 2 of Pikachu and Myhill. So the dream run unfortunately came to an end a bit shorter than he was hoping for, but really, really strong run. And he also brings a unique style where he tries to kind of up the anxiety of the opponent away with the fake plays. So it's definitely something that could be effective when it comes to pressure moments, but overall, it's going to be interesting to see what he does, especially with his more involved role with D2 this season, as he's a new commission member, which I do want to throw out there also for him. He's been doing a great job with that, but we'll see how he does. I know for a lot of people, it's definitely going to be a big question mark how he does for the 2026 season, but again, from a spectator view, his strategies definitely may seem a little bit lackluster, but when you're the other person on the other side of the table with that one, it could definitely play an impact in terms of how you're thinking through the game. So we'll see how he does.
Considering Brad is one of the most clean cut, right? He's got that. He's coming in with a suit and tie, all black, trying to cut you in a funeral. A coffin. This is going to be an interesting game. Brad is not a nonsense type of guy, so we'll see how he does here. Non-stream game. There really was no accomplishments on that one for Brad to put it on a stream game. And we go to the last game of this region, and then we'll finally hit it up with the Cyclops at the end. So we're going to do the transition over. There we go. Appreciate that. We'll start it off with, I will say, one of the more interesting prospects, and we'll have Sandfer and Aria on this one. Bryan has looked good. Really good. 2-0 in the Cup. He beat Nam last year. He beat Sandfer last year. He didn't get 2 wins. He got 4. And if it hadn't been for a DQ against Gold on July 4th weekend, who knows where Bryan could have been. I'm cautiously optimistic Bryan is turning right. He's got to show up on time, right? That's his only downside. But he gets Leah. This is an interesting game because Leah also played the Cup, so there's no rust factor on this one. We'll get Leah's thoughts in a second. But because they both played the Cup, it's an intriguing game. And there's rust. So, Sandfer, I'll go to you here. This is an interesting one. There is no rust. Your thoughts on this? Because it's one of the rare times where both players play in the preseason and we match them up, which is rare.
Yeah. Sorry. And it's worth mentioning, Bryan actually is that player I was kind of mentioning before, where Bryan originally was going to be on the 7 with his season results from last year. With how we saw him play in the Cup, there was stuff that we were impressed by that like he didn't normally do. So he gets moved up to the 6th line. Is going to have to take advantage of it. Leah's definitely a beatable opponent. Going to be interesting to see what Leah can do from the Cup because their stock kind of took a hit in there. I think originally Bryan and Leah was going to be a 7-10. Then we moved Leah around with hockey, or moved. It's either that or we moved Leah up to Bryan's line, and then Leah didn't do so well in the second game. I don't remember the exact what it was, but yeah, both players shouldn't have rust. Both players in a spot where they need to definitely prove some stuff about where they're at as players.
We'll get up Leah here in a second. Pro, your thoughts on this match, buddy?
If you had asked me before the Promoters Cup if this could be a good matchup, I wouldn't have that as optimistic mentality. I'm a bit more optimistic now that this could be a good matchup. Crazy to really think about it, but it could be a good matchup. Bryan did very good in the Promoters Cup. He did good in the later half of the season. He could be someone to watch out for. Leah, though, could bring something out of Bryan, though, that might be the one difference maker in this matchup. Going to be something really to watch out for.
All right. Did someone bring Leah up? I don't know. Someone got that?
I don't think they had yet.
Bring her up. We got a lot of heads in the audience. Really appreciate that. Sure, you got her?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay, I can't. Okay. Leah, your thoughts on this match against Bryan? Obviously, one of the rare matches where both players have played in the preseason, so no rust factor at all.
I mean, not exactly the matchup I was expecting, but I'm definitely here for it. I think, as much as I appreciate the confidence that people have in me in the chat here, I don't want to sleep on Bryan. Honestly, he's one of my sleeper picks for Super League this year. I think he's coming into the season with a lot of momentum after that Promoters Cup. And, I think this is a doable match for me, but I think he's really going to keep me on my toes. So I'm excited to play him for sure. I've seen what he can do. He's an intimidating guy.
All right, appreciate that, Leah. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Bryan versus Leah, Kentucky versus Texas. We'll see how that goes. Non-stream game. Thank you, Leah. Appreciate it. We're going to keep it going. We are about 2 hours in, so we'll get to that last region as we go to the overall view into the Dream region. Short's going to do a transition here. Just 1 second. Just want to make sure I get the next region. Perfect. There we go. All right, sure you got that, buddy? You're still
working.
Yeah, interesting so far. Sandfer, while we wait for this dead air, your thoughts on just these matches here, man? We've had a good spare, good mix of rookies, good mix of, I think, competitive battles in store, good rematches too.
I think so. I'm not surprised that Bryan getting onto the 6th line is surprising for some. I mean, had you told me Had you told me before Promoters Cup that Bryan would have had any shot at a 6 line, I would have told you were crazy. For one, but like I said, that I hadn't seen him pull off ever. So I'm hoping that this is a sign of things to come for him. Obviously, the seed means that we're still not expecting him to get past round 2, but I think the idea of what he showed last year, plus what he showed in the Practice Cup, or Promoters Cup, I think he is a player that should be looking more towards the 4 to 5 wins this season than someone that's looking towards 1 or 2.
Appreciate that, Sandfer. Let's do a quick rundown. We got at the top, probably the most hyped 116 in a long time. Acosta versus JT. That's going to be an insane game. Tennessee versus New York. Classic one there. Then we move over with the California 11 showdown, the 8 versus 9. Should be a good one for both Ghost and Eli. Then we got VeriGold Joao. As Joao said, VeriGold's his favorite player, so something's got to give on that one. As we got the old Portugal versus Illinois. Then another Europe showdown. Classic Cap versus Luke. Latvia versus England. Just mentioned Bryan, Leah, Kentucky, Texas. We got a little, just how we drew it up, coast to coast. Brad versus Gio, Italy versus Washington State. Another in-state battle, Golden State battle, Golden State 11. Sandfer versus Drip, looking forward to that one. And then a classic, you can call it, I guess, Southeastern showdown if you want to go that route. Mid-Atlantic Southeastern showdown with Georgia versus West Virginia Monkey versus Ridley. And looking forward to seeing how this one goes down. Sandfer kind of gave the preview. We'll see how Acosta runs the region. We'll see how Monkey gets on it well. And we'll see how the rookies do. We talked about 4 rookies now. We're starting to increase the rookies. So if you're keeping score at home, there's 4 more rookies left. Something to keep in mind. All right, we go to the final region. We said best for last. We'll begin with the Cyclops region. And this matchup, well, we're going to see on this one because it's an interesting one. We're going to start it off with the guy in the chat who's been with us all night. Gerard, the last one seen to be revealed, Gman. Of course, G had his return back to form as he made Super League, of course, twice now, 2023 and 2025 Brazil and Bangkok, the old Bees. We'll see if he can make it a third time in, I guess you could call it his second home in Miami U down there, the 305. Corsado, April tournament winner, 18 career wins. And he's playing M, who, yeah, it's M. I mean, what else is there really to say? M is always an interesting player. For the love of God, please don't go crazy on the stream. But thankfully, it's not a stream game. Thoughts on this one? We'll go to G, and then we'll also go to a pro. We'll go to J. I guess Jay's going to talk this time. All right, we'll go to G and then J. Go ahead. G, thoughts on this one? Your game.
It's looking forward to starting this season again. I know the last 2 seasons, this tournament has not been great for me. Went on the round 64 here. I know a lot of people are definitely going to predict lopsided scores here, but I'm not going to underestimate M. M does have a few big wins in their career, especially from 2024. 2025 did not quite go their way, but we've seen these turnarounds before, and for M, a bit of an unpredictable player. So we will see how this one goes. I will be walking into this one expecting the unexpected here, but hopefully can get the job done and make it back to the well, not even the round of 32. When in 2023 when this tournament existed, there wasn't even a round of 32. So I guess round of 16, round of 30, get a win in this tournament. I guess that's the way to do it. And no, I do not think this will be a DQ. I think this will be a match that has at least 4 games played in it, and that will be my prediction.
Actually, M's not from Kentucky anymore. She moved to DC. So, Jay, you actually talking this time? You got me this time, buddy?
Yep.
All right, Jay, your thoughts on this match, but I'm going to give this to you. A little makeup here. Makeup, Jay. Go for it, buddy.
Please stop. I think to rejuvenate G now. M's a wild card, but I think it'll probably be 4 to the G, really. Perhaps they go 7, but my guts say 6. 4 to G.
Going with the 4-2 G. All right. Well, yeah, it'll be an interesting. Listen, it'll be an interesting game. I think both people. You look at G, he had that run. He's got a little bit of that momentum with the fact that we're going to Miami. Come to keep in mind, I'm just looking to be one of those big game trophy hunters for sure. All right, we'll go to the next game. This will be an interesting game. We talked about, Caesar speaking. Yeah, Caesar hit that layup pretty well. He got the layup.
I'm Mike now.
Yo, Jay, do that peace gif, buddy, with the layup in the chat. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh my
You know the
God.
one. Come on, Jay. Come on, Jay.
Fine.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, my man. All right, we'll go to the next one, and this is the last 8-9. Out of all the 8-9s, though, I will say this one, I'm not sure where either player's heads are at. We're going to start it off with Logan, who get his 100 starts if he can get to 5. He had a really good season last year. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with college. That'll be something to keep in mind, though, for him. And also, we got Chamek, who the fact that he's even down here in his 9-1 is amazing because the season he had, you would have thought he was a 15 seed half the year with some of the confidence issues. I'm going to go to Pro and Sandfer on this one. Sandfer, Chamek, it's going to come down to two things, in my opinion. Can split ammo work? We talked about that with Ellen. We talked about it with Eli. It's one of those things where everybody's got it now in their bag. Do you think he's got to evolve? And for Logan, if he doesn't lose to Ellison and Mitt, those two heartbreakers, he's probably in a good chance in Super League. How do you think he bounces back after those tough losses?
Sorry. I think for this one, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's for Chamek, he's kind of in a spot of almost where Peter has been at for a while. Of does he need to reinvent something, find some extra tricks? Because the problem, I guess, the one problem that you have with split ammo is split ammo game. You almost have to use power play to be able to be foolproof on it to have it work. So there is ways of combating it. Can he find some extra tricks in the shed to be able to get there? For Logan, it's going to be about building on what was a solid improvement year. Can he find that next step up? I've already picked an 8 seed. I guess I'll take Chamek. I'll say 4-2 just to be a little bit different than the computer on this one in terms of the score. But I'll agree that the computer has the right person winning this.
Bro, your thoughts on this one? Your old buddy, Chinese Chamek. What do you got, bro?
Chamek, I'm hoping that he can does a little bit better than what he did last year. Because last year was a bit more of a topsy-turvy kind of season. But then you got Logan, and Logan can be a really good player. It's just going to be what sort of ways could Chamek try to get around Logan to get the win? It's going to be an interesting matchup, though. But I'm going to say that I'm going to flip-flop what the CPU has, though. And I think I'm going to give Logan this one.
Yeah, on the flip-flop. Or okay, again, 8 or 9, toss-up city. It's one of those situations where we see it in this league. For some odd reason, the 9 seed seems to be more superior than the 8 seeds, but it could change for sure. All right, this next game, we just talked about this guy literally 30 seconds ago. Let's get him on here because it's going to be the guy just did a little deuce in the old chat. It's Jay Caesar, the winningest player that has no medals in the entire league. He's 21-time winner, no medals. This is going to be one of those games where we actually have 0 accolades going on. It's going to be more of a showcase game. We're going to try something new this year with more. We're going to pick a good showcase game. It's either going to be this one. I think the other candidate would have been Ghost Eli or one of the matches, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But he's going to play against Red, and if we all know Red is a character. Let's just call it that way. He's an interesting character, to say the least. This is a tough draw for Red, though. Caesar is a guy that doesn't play any games. We're going to go to Jay here. Jay, your thoughts on playing Red? This is more of a flex game. You know how the old NFL does a little flex scheduling to flex this one stream. What do you think? What do you think of playing Red here? What do you got?
My God. Well, I might be a serious dude, but the rust is real. I haven't practiced all this season, so I mean I don't know. I just think that my rust is too much, and I think it might be a good match, but hopefully hopefully I stick it out with the win in the end.
All right, we're gonna hope to stick it out with the win. We'll go to Sandfer. Sandfer, your thoughts? I'm not gonna go to pro on this. Thoughts on this one, Sandfer with Red and Caesar, one of the flex games we'll be scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, Red's. I guess this one's an interesting one because this is one that Red played his way into this game. The only thing we knew going into it, into Promoters Cup, was we knew Red was going to need someone easy to schedule with, or that had a lot of availabilities.
And I fit that bill
because Red doesn't have Red at least early on in this doesn't have a whole lot of, or there's some scheduling issues that would limit where he's available. And we liked what he was showing in the Promoters Cup, so he was able to move his way up from a 14 line up into this 13 spot. So, from that aspect, well, good on him. Now it's time to prove that he's going to have what it takes to be able to justify it. I'll probably lean towards Caesar getting it done just because Caesar in round 1, 9 times out of 10 wins. So, no reason
Please
to think
don't
that's
remind
going
me
to
of
be any
last
different.
season.
What was that, Jay?
What was that?
Don't remind me about last
Please do
season.
not remind me of last season.
Oh God, don't remind me.
At least you're not JT.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
Too soon.
Damn.
I mean,
Jay.
I'm just
All
saying
right,
you
Jay,
could
your
have
thoughts
it
on
worse, man. No disrespect.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
Jay's always living it up. But anyway, let's go to G. Thoughts on Red.
Yeah, before we go to Red, just kind of mention the Caesar about the concerns about rust. I don't ever practice, and I won a tournament last season, so you know. I think the no practice thing is no biggie. Should be fine. But besides that, yeah, I think for Red, again, it's another one where he's also a character. He's usually decently active, except he's not now because he's asleep at this point. But I think for the most part with Red, as long as he just kind of filters out some of the nonsense, I think he'll be okay. He's been doing pretty well. He was the only person who debuted last season to get an at-large spot in the D2 champion, or one of the top 10 seeds in the D2 championship. And he did so in a pretty good fashion. He was the 4 seed in the end of the season with 9 wins in the regular season, and then ended up making it to the lower bracket quarters with a 5th place finish. So I mean, not a bad playoff showing from him. Was able to beat a few people like Luke and Ridley through that one, and also did make a Final Four in Tournament 3, which was Meteorological May. Yeah, I think for Red, I think he's another one that's a wild card. I'm not really sure what to expect from Red this season. But I think he's someone who knows how to get it done. But he's also kind of got to lock in, because sometimes he could be a little bit all over the place. And that's where things can kind of go a little haywire for him. So, we'll see what he does. This is he's the only player from Vietnam in this league, currently residing in France for college. So, for scheduling purposes, he's from Europe, but we'll see what he does. This is another rookie I'm very intrigued to see how they will pan out as the season goes along.
All right, well, we'll keep it moving here. Should be a good one. Jay versus Red. We'll see how both of those guys attack the stream game. No milestone game or anything, so that helps out a lot. It's one of those showcase games. We're trying for something new here. Also notice too, not everybody is getting a stream game from Super League. Keep that in mind. We had new rules. I want to thank a couple people on that. Really, Yepez, Brad, and one of the 2 guys that we don't want to see 4-1-16. Don't want to see it. Anyway, Well, next game up, 5-12, last one of the top half. We're going to start it off with a fan favorite player, Old Tapir. Tapir, 22 career wins, got the first and third. Super League happens 24. He had the unfortunate trademark of missing Super League with 10 wins, but that's how the SOS and quads go sometimes. Jungle July, of course, tournament win, Aquatic April 24 when he debuted and played Ashley in that Final Four. And he gets a rookie in Taco, good old Taco, and we're on a Tuesday, so I picked it's perfectly in the name and in the marketing. Appreciate Taco. I think he is here. We'll bring him up, or maybe he's at work. Either way, I'll type his thoughts out. But Pier versus Taco, I want to bring two people on. Obviously, G, we'll bring G back in, and I also want to bring Short because he's a friend of his. Short, your thoughts on Tapir Taco? You said you wanted to be here for this game, quote unquote.
Yeah, and we'll hear from Taco.
Taco's here.
He's hopped up. This is one I was saying I was going to lobby for driving hours, and then I remembered that this is not a stream game, but still I'll lobby for it, and there will be lots of drives. This will be a great game. I'm looking forward to watching.
I appreciate that. We'll get Taco second. G, your thoughts on Taco before he has a little interview here.
All right. Taco. Again, he was in that 8-win bunch from last season where he got 8 regular season wins. He's also another player who was pretty consistent, never lost in the round of 64, made 2 Elite 8s and the prior season. Last season was also kind of a bit of redemption as well because 2024 he made the LCQ, ultimately couldn't compete in it due to IRL stuff, but ended up coming back, qualified for the D2 championship. That did not quite go the way they were hoping for, but again, with a few more extra drops this season than we've seen in the past, was able to sneak into the D1 field, and now we'll be playing to try and contend to make Super League. And also joined the media team as well this season, has been also doing some great work there, has been actually giving a lot of good coverage with his custom graphics for the taco stand. So been doing an awesome job with that. But I think for Taco, he's kind of someone who comes into each game with a fresh mindset. I like his approach going into each match, and overall, I think for him, it's definitely going to be someone who can stay composed when the going could get tough in these matches. And that is an important thing to have, because some people may just like straight up give up if it's not going their way midway before the series ends. But I think for Taco, he stays resilient. So we'll see what he ends up doing in this matchup. I think Tapir is definitely going to be an interesting player to draw for their first D1 match. Promoters Cup, and just kind of checking my notes here. Did pretty good. We went 2-0 in the Promoters Cup, beat Rogers and Allen, so not bad wins there. So he is riding a little bit of momentum going into this one. But again, it's going to be definitely a tough opponent to go up against with Tapir. But, I think for Taco has made a decent amount of upsets before in the past. I could definitely see the same happening here. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll throw it over to Taco now for his thoughts.
Taco, welcome to the old stage, buddy. You've been now an institutional member of the league with the media. You still don't have knowledge of the D1 ball, quote unquote. But your thoughts on playing Tapir? You do know Tapir. He's been around the block. Thoughts on this one?
Hey, look, I've played Tapir a lot. I believe in the Ultimate Uno League, we played a good bit, and he's a solid player. I'm a little bit disappointed that I draw him, because I was hoping for maybe someone that I knew a little bit less fast. I can hype myself up and make myself feel like I got more of a shot. I do feel like I'm the underdog going in this, obviously 5-12. As almost all rookies in this bracket are. I could be wrong. I didn't see where the first group of the first part of the bracket was when it came to seeding. But ultimately, I just have to work on my biggest issue going into the D2 championship, which is when I went there, I always seem to have a pretty solid start. But right about game 3 or 4, there's just some sort of confidence issues that would go in. I'd always fluster up something. Maybe I'd mess up the chain. Maybe I'd not use a power play when I should have, and ultimately that's just the ultimate. That's the biggest thing I have to work on, because if I'm able to improve upon that aspect of my game, I don't have to get into a situation where I'm trying to claw back from a situation where maybe I was up 2-0 and now it's 3-2 and I'm 2-3 and I'm on the cusp. Maybe I can go ahead and work on that and try to just work on that resilience, because I know I can fight from behind, but I need to make it so I don't have to ever get into that situation where I don't have to. So that's my biggest thing going into this match.
Yeah, so it's about getting resilience, try to get your legs under you, also know how to be adaptable to each situation, right? You look at, we talked about this in D1, you saw with the Cup, you played, was it Allen and G said Rogers? They're going to be different styles compared to Pier. So that's the beauty of it. And, I think someone said it, might have been Pro, might have been someone else. Everyone has a different style in this league. That's the beauty of this league. Luke actually said that, if he's still here. I remember him saying 64 players, 64 unique styles. Appreciate Taco. Keep doing the good work on the taco stand, man. Everyone loves it. And thank you for being an institutional member of the media. Thank you, my friend. Always appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, brother. All right, we'll move over, and we talked about this game here coming up. This is, I believe, our last game
One
in
moment,
terms of
please.
rematches.
One thing, though, to Pier dropping his thoughts as well. Taco should make for an excellent opponent in a fun series. He can't talk, but he left it in the chat.
My bad, Pier. I didn't know, bro, because you texted me. You couldn't talk. I didn't know. My fault, man. I didn't see. I
asked him to drop his thoughts.
I'm also starting to get past up there in the hours lost there. But regardless, appreciate you
We're getting
for
there.
dropping
We're
those
getting
thoughts,
there.
my friend. It's getting there. At least it'll be before 10. That's nice.
It's the first
Usually
game where we've
usually
had,
I'm
I
here
think,
till
both players present. Unless I'm missing something.
Yes, I believe so. Once we had, both were present, I believe. I guess if you don't count the ones on stream, because I think, Coach is watching.
Present in the
Alan.
present in the stage.
Alan. Okay, yeah. I got you. Someone watching the stream. All right, let's move over 215, and this is. I know you guys are gonna laugh at me on this one. I like this match a lot. Here's why. We'll start it off with the guy that's been really, really damn good from last year. He made a huge run in T5 to get him all the way to Super League. It's the man, Andy. Andy, of course, has got his medal. That was your Apocalyptic August 2025 and Super League 2025. Of course. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I love this match, man. Andy versus Camaro 55. Camaro's got 2 career wins. But let's not forget, Camaro was up 3 against Andy. If it hadn't been for a missed power play, Andy loses that game. He may not even be in Super League. This is a scary game, boys. If Camaro can show up, and it's not streamed, unfortunately, and play the game he wants, this will not be a cakewalk for Andy. Could be a sleeper. I would go to Sandfer, but T1 memories are too real from last year. So we're going to do a little detour and go Caesar Ard. Let's go with Ard. Ard, your thoughts on this game? If Camaro shows up, Andy is going to be a threat. Camaro could be a threat for this game for sure. He almost had Andy on the ropes. Andy, your thoughts on this game? Let's not forget that.
Okay, let me just say this. If Camaro Man can show up on time without any circumstances of any confusion and anything like that, it could be a good matchup. But if Camaro has problems, I don't know, then you're going to just have to throw it up into the air and see what sticks. That's all I'm going to say on it, because I'm going to be iffy on it. I can't really throw this towards anywhere.
I mean, Caesar, we talked about this. Camaro, when he shows up, is interesting character. He's really not good with a lot of opponents, but he has something against those California players. He just shows up. Let's not forget Sandfer, and of course last year against Andy. If he hadn't missed the power play, would have won. Your thoughts on this? Could be a sneaky one for sure.
I don't think so. I think this is going to be a destruction by Andy. Give me Andy 4-1.
Go with this. I had to sell it because it went 7 last year. Andy, your thoughts in this game, though? Feel free to type. I know you're just more of a typer.
Break out the brooms. Assuming he even shows up.
Yeah, this one, I think he will. I think Camaro will show up. He did show up to the Cup game. Sam, I guess I'll throw you in there, man. Your thoughts on Camaro Man 55 versus Ham. When we were seeing this one, we wanted this one stream, but there was a lot of unpredictability due to the fact that it is a rematch and we have a lot of good games on the docket. Go ahead. I'll give you a quick word.
Which month am I talking about for Camaro? No, in all honesty.
You guys made up last year the second time. You guys made up.
Yeah, we made up. We made up in second. If Camaro shows up, he should be a decent player. It's just there is some concern with whether or not he'd be able to get scheduled easily enough, and even once it is scheduled, whether or not he like doesn't oversleep or have something else come up. So we'll see what happens with it. It was a good game when we got played the last time, so that has me optimistic at least. And it is that West Coast battle.
Yeah, anything can happen. We talked about we had that whole Andy stuff. I mean, last time I played, I had to come back 3-1. It was 3-1 in order to beat him, and would definitely like to resort to that again. But I mean, I won't treat him like an easy opponent. I'm going to go into this game ready for whatever he's got. Yeah, you have to. Again, there's no game that's automatic. Even though Camaro, okay on paper, but we'll see how it goes. As I think, in my opinion, it could be one of those sleeper games, which we always like to have at some point. All right, 2 more games to go. We're running it down. Only 2 to go. We'll move it back to the 7. Or sorry, 3 more games. One idiot.
Jeez Louise.
3 more games to go. It's getting man. It's getting late for me. But then in about 20 minutes, I'll be fresh when I brush my teeth. Then I'll be fresh for a half hour. Anyway, this is a great game. We're going to start it off with. I think he's still in the chat. I mentioned it'd be best for last. The Glazer, Edwards the Ember.
He indeed.
Good old Ed. Obviously, Ed. He had. Man, if it wasn't, could you believe it? If you would have told me he would have beat Vapor last year, Ed would have taken that and maybe ran with the bank. But he had an unfortunate loss to Gman. And you know, what's wrong?
He was ready with that gift, man. He'd
Check,
been waiting
check.
all night. He'd been waiting all night.
The
Glazed donuts for everybody.
Waiting all night. Free donuts, Ed. Appreciate you, man. I'll send you the invoice a little later, buddy.
Better than those stupid oatmeal raisin cookies Art's been sending me all off season.
Artie, you still say, oh my god.
Oh yeah. Hey, should tell you after the stream there's a bunch of oatmeal raisin cookies at the door.
Whoa! Okay, here we go. Anyway, who's the 10 seed, boss?
In the pantry. I like. No, I like. Pro. Off the top, I like that, Pro. Just send me that pic. Appreciate you, bro. Anyway, 10 seed is going to be none other than the coach. Coach Rogers. Coach obviously had the warm-up games, of course, in the Promoters Cup. Took care of business against...
That didn't happen.
What's that?
Nothing. The bracket's just incorrect. The preview's right, though.
Ironically.
That says drip. That's not supposed to say drip. Anyway, the preview's correct. Ignore that.
This is our second game. It's going to be one of those matches where we talked about just
cookies
having a shoe-in with the stream games. I just got to find the thumbnail here. There it is. And we'll go to Art. Invite Ed up. He's in here. We're going to bring him up. But your thoughts on this one, Art, and we'll go to Sandfer on this one.
I think this match is going to be good. Ziemba is a really unique player, especially with certain strategies that he likes to pull out. But then you got Coach, and he can do all right at certain points, but it sometimes goes with his opponents. I think this one could be a really good one. I think these two are going to really have a unique battle, and it could be a lot of fun.
All right, Sandfer, your thoughts on Coach versus Ed, as we'll get Ed in a second.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a very interesting one. Obviously, you have the light switching on Ziemba's side. Rogers had a really solid showing, actually, in the Promoters Cup. In fact, actually, there was one of his 2 matches he lost, but truthfully, when me and KT were watching the footage as it happened, we thought Rogers actually had the better gameplay, even though he lost. So that was a very telling thing. I think for both players, this is definitely going to be a situation of they need a good start to the year. I'll probably give the edge to Ed. But I can't say that this one's not going to go anything other than 7.
All right, well, let's get to the man himself, Ed Ziemba, who will be part of the commentary crew this year. Ed, it's good to have you, my friend. You got a lot of respect for coach riders in the NR community. This is an old NR matchup. Your thoughts on the coach as we get into this first?
Yeah, this is great. Great way to start the season, I'd say. I think, Coach, I don't think he was going to make it easy, but you know what? I'm feeling good about this matchup. I'm going to start reviewing the film shortly there after this call. And I'll be ready when the time comes.
Give us one of those Edward Ziemba staring in the eyes. Give us one of those. Go for it. Those poems.
Sorry, you cut out. What'd you say?
Give us one of those Ed Ziemba classic lines, like, how you just stare into the soul. What are we staring into here on this one? Go ahead.
I'm staring. We're in Fairytale February, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is what, the Cyclops region?
Yes, sir. Round eye. Yes, sir. I'll give you some heat here.
All right. Um,
Oh, I put him on the spot. In a real game, he'll be really good with this.
I'm usually more ready for game time. I don't know if
I'll play it for the game.
tonight.
Even better.
Yeah.
Stay better, man. Study the film. We're going to ask you that question. First question. Well, hopefully I'm streaming now. Who knows? Whoever's streaming that one, I'll make sure to put a note to stare into that soul. All right?
Of course, yeah. I'm gonna start getting ready. It's gonna be good.
All right. Appreciate you. One love, man. Stay well. Thanks for coming out here, man. Keep it easy. Make it happen as always. Thank you, Ed. All right. Well, we go to 2. Now we're down to 2 more to go. This should be the last non-stream game, I think. I think so. It's getting late. I'll figure it out as we go. Either way, here we go. Game, and this is a guy that, of course, had a hell of a time last year. Good old toaster guy, the second most accomplished player in the league without a medal. Somehow, some way, he's been elusively close to a medal and hasn't got one. But for Toast, he's a guy that I think plays one of the more cracked out styles, crack like an egg. Crikey! He's a fun man. He's a fun character. Unfortunately for Toast, though, I don't know what to expect with this one because I've only seen Mark play a little bit. Mark is a guy that I call Marky Mark. Marky Mark has been he's got 2 different sides. He plays a lot of True Rule styles back in the day, but he's evolved that True Rule styles from the matches I've seen. Ironically, it was back, I think, in 2024. So, been a while. We'll get the G on this one, and we'll go to Caesar because Caesar knows Toast like the back of a hand. Jay, your thoughts on Toast? He's a fun-loving guy. What do you think on this one?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Probably the craziest player in the league. I don't know what to say. He plays the single most craziest style I've ever seen in my whole life. Just rely on those power cards and just throw it out there and pray it works. Literally a Hail Mary. So I think this will be a fun match.
It'll be a fun match. G, give us the scoop on Marky Mark. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, so for Mark, it's really kind of been an upward trajectory for him. He's another one of these players who was in D2 when it originally began. And he actually came close to making the D2 championship in 2024. Came up a bit short, and then ultimately it did not pan out in the LCQ. But in 2025, I'm going to be honest, I was really impressed by what he was able to do. Started off the season with a run all the way to the finale in February Flurry. Came up short to Luke there. Had a bit of a mid-season lull, but made up for it in the best way possible with a Final Four appearance. So one of only 3 players last season to have made 2 Final Fours. So very impressive from him. And he ended up finishing in the D2 championship with a solid playoff showing in 4th place. So was able to kind of do good on both sides of the coin. And, I think he's definitely going to be a dark horse to watch out for in terms of how these rookies panned out on the seed line. he's got some good stuff. He has a lot of really good strategies when it comes to how he goes about color switches, which I know on the surface doesn't seem like a lot, but he uses it in a way that really keeps the player the opponent guessing. He's not a one trick pony with that. He has a lot of different versatility with that, and I think that's been really a strong suit with how he's been playing these games. So I think Mark could definitely break out here. Toasty's going to be a very good player and someone that's going to be tough to go up against, but Mark is coming off a 10-win season here with a good showing in the playoffs. So, I think for Mark, he could be shaping up for a big upset here, potentially, but we'll have to see. He's definitely going to have to come off some off the table rust, if you could say, as I don't think he's played in a while, but we'll see how he does. If we base it off last season, he started off strong and ended strong, so maybe the same could happen here.
Yeah, Mark will be definitely a wild card. Who knows? Did not play the Promoters Cup. He'll be the last guy that didn't play the Cup. So if we're keeping score at home, this is the last matchup. We saved an interesting one for last, to say the least. We'll start it off with, everyone's favorite Indonesian hero, Abian. Abian, obviously, not the year he wanted, I think, towards the back half. Just a lot of composure issues, and, of course, he had to play Nam, and Nam just had his number there. Ultimately, that, and, of course, the DQ loss that kind of really blew up in his face, that really cost him. He plays, again, this is similar to Pikachu. I think Mihail is going to be a very, very heavy upset pick here, obviously. Now, Mihail, only I'm going to say about Mihail, though, he just did a snowstorm. And that's the only thing that I could say that will make this game interesting. Just got hit with a snowstorm down there in NC. So something to keep in mind. That could be a little developing story. But other than that, I think both players know what they got to do. I don't think either player knows each other that well, really. So it should be a fascinating one. We'll go to the last two. We'll go G again, and then we'll finish it off with Bard, and that's it. Actually, no, forget Pro. We'll go Sandfer and G to finish it off. Go ahead, Sandfer. Your thoughts on this one? I think we had to move Mihail to the 11 line because he was originally going to be, a 10, I think, but we moved him back.
So before Promoters Cup, what happened was we had the top two from D2 were penciled in for the 11. So I think the most we did was we just moved him in position on this line, but I don't even think we did that. I think Mihail purely was 11 the entire way. So from the for this one, I guess the interesting part is going to be, what does Abian do? He's going to have to step up from where he was last year, considering the main drawback he had last year was he had DQL. Mihail played solid in the Promoters Cup, but I also think, if I remember correctly, he basically also didn't have a group that was overly impressive on the D1 side of things.
Ellison and Goldie,
yeah. So I think in both cases it was people that he was already either going to be ranked ahead of or on the same line as. So really didn't do him much favors in terms of moving him up. But it at least also meant that he played well enough that he wasn't going to be put down anywhere, wasn't going to be taken really off of that 11 line at any point.
We'll go to G, and then I'll close the show out with the reveal of the last bracket. Go ahead, G. Go for it, buddy. I'm Mihail. G?
I muted myself. That was interesting. Anyways, yeah, from what I've seen, Mihail's the preseason favorite of the rookies to do well, which I mean is to be expected. I mean, he's coming off one of the best seasons. I mean, we saw Vapor go back to back at the end of last season. Mihail did the exact same thing in D1 or D2. It ended up getting 14 wins in the regular season, and was technically only 2 matches away from doing the three-peat, which has never been done before. Came up a bit short in the grand finals for the TC Championship against Pikachu, but still an incredible season from Mihail. One of the best we have seen across the board in MRE, and he's going to be a threat. Assuming nothing big goes wrong here, I think he's going to be someone that will be in contention through the season. And I think the hype going behind him into this season is justified. So he's going to be someone you got to keep an eye out for, and could very much emerge as a contender very quickly if things go right to start it off. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. But yeah, I mean, based off trends though, background was the in a way regular season champion from D2 in 2024, went on to make Super League. Mihail's coming in as the 2025 D2 regular season champion. So we'll see if he can get a little streak going. Because the grand final streak continued with the 1 seeds making it there. But yeah, definitely going to be a contender as we go through.
Yeah, some of the reasons why we have certain people ranked is also for logistical reasons. We don't want. Yeah, we can't just put, for example, we can't just put certain people that we know are across the country. It's going to be one of those. Luke up there, basically, because where's Cap from, right? Europe on we had to do a lot of logistical reasons. There's a reason why for that, of course, because
and what went into where the rookies. One of the main things that went into the rookies is we basically started off with figuring out, okay, which of the rookies are going to end up on what seed line, and then looked for once that we had Pikachu's on the 10 line. Then it's looking for what Pikachu was kind of paired with Yoshi for no matter what. Once we had that Cody, Smart, Mihail were on the 11 line, then it came down to looking for, okay, now what matchup on that is best suited for them both logistically and to at least give them a fighting shot. So there is a lot, especially with the T1 of once we have who's on what line, we want to make sure that they have the best fighting shot.
Well, we'll go to the final reveal, the Cyclops region. That's going to be over to Short, and we'll finish her up. Short's going to take care of business right here. There's the old Cyclops, little red and pink going right here. We got G versus M. Now it's a different type of match. Last year it was Florida versus Kentucky. Now it's New Jersey versus DC. Something to keep in mind. We got Logan versus Chomik, and just how he drew it up. Pennsylvania versus China. Classic. Caesar versus Red, and I think actually there's a chance Red might be flying back to Vietnam. So it might actually be Vietnam versus Brazil, or France versus Brazil. We'll see on that one. Pure Taco with the old Michigan versus Mississippi, the M&M's battle, as you may call it. Abi Hell, Indonesia versus North Carolina. Mark versus Toasty, New Zealand versus Pennsylvania. And we got, yes, Brad, they're all revealed now. Now that I can see the chat. Ed versus Rogers in the classic Illinois or Wisconsin. I'm not sure. Ed, are you still here? That's right. I got to ask him on that. Sometimes with college you move. But Illinois, Wisconsin, Tennessee. And then we got the last one, Andy Camaro. We have 3 California battles, so that's going to be something to keep. Golden State Showdowns. We'll see how all 3 of those go, and we'll keep it going. Well, that's going to do the show. Appreciate everybody for stopping. We had a hell of a night. A lot of people coming out. We had, I think, about 25 people rotate in on the audience, and we had plenty of guests. We really wanted to keep this under 4 hours. We did a good job. We started around 7:15, so actually it was under 3 hours, so that's pretty good. Appreciate Short for giving us suggestions on that, and we'll continue this format moving forward. For Not Short, Charles Sanford, Gman, Caesar, myself, ProArt, Llamas, the chat at home, including Nick, Nom, AI, Cody Smart, Monkey, Taco, Luke, Background Joao, Andy, Yepez, Tapir, Leah, and many more. Appreciate you guys coming out here tonight. We cannot wait for the start of Fairytale February. We will see you Friday. And also join us maybe Friday morning or maybe even Friday afternoon. We'll see when. We'll have our first ever pregame show, which will be bite-sized. It's pending schedule, 15 to 30-minute shows that we're going to try something new. I'll be hosting that most likely for the first one, and we're going to go from there. Bracket will be posted after the stream, and I'll also post the stream games. That's no problem. We're going to get done with the stream. That way we can get the other stuff. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming out. And then to our YouTube audience, we will see you Friday for some D1 action. Have a good one, everybody. This has been a presentation of MRE Uno Division 1.